All right, hello, welcome, guys. So we're gonna try something a little bit different with the Zoom and see if this works. Okay. Boom. Now you guys might have to pin it. Okay, you might have to pin this like overall thing. How do I do this? Spotlight for everyone. There we go. Okay. The question now is, can everyone see everything? Terrible quality. Terrible quality. Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on. We can maybe fix it. How about now? What are we looking like now? Bad quality. Oh my god, it's terrible. What is this? What is this? It's so bad. Oh my god, Zoom sucks. Okay. We will get rid of that. First of all, Marco says it's terrible sound as well. First of all, the sound has never changed. So I don't know how that's even possible. I'm not going to lie to you. The sound is baddish. The sound should be the exact same, guys. That's interesting. Hold on. Sound is a bit weird, and others are saying the sound is good. Close to mic, maybe. Okay. Test. Oh, maybe it's just loud. Test. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I turned it down a little bit. It's perfect now? Okay, perfect. Good. That's what I like to hear. So, this is a quality screen. Okay, we're back to looking good, yeah? Okay, so the thing that I thought would fix everything did not fix it, so we're back to using the old screen share. That's fine, though. No problem with that. All is going to be okay. Well, guys, welcome. Welcome to the MentorFX private mentorship. This is webinar 136, and it is an absolute pleasure to have everybody here today. So, we've had a few very cool developments this week. Annotations, thank you. Let's get those taken care of. So we had a few very cool developments this week. Just a ton of milestones reached by a number of our members. Okay, some of which, I'm just going to go quickly through them. Some of which include a number of people getting funded, once again. I have one member that I know of myself personally, this week alone, that has reached over 7 figures in funding now, and actually had his first 5-figure day on his funded account. So he sent me some of his trading, and he had about a $13,000 day on like Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's just, if you're the individual and you know who you are, congratulations, that's absolutely huge. I kind of made the joke to him that, you just paid for for 13 years of the mentorship in one trade or in one day, which is really cool. John asked me if I can share how he trades. Well, what's cool about what we do here is that I teach every aspect of what is taught, right? And all he did, just so you know, John, we can't see your face. I'll turn on my face in a second. Just so you know, John, in regards to exactly what he did, he simply traded the exact system that I'm currently trading and teaching you guys in conjunction with basically taking a buy stop of an MB or the ICI method and then managing. The only difference is he's doing this on a 1 hour and a 15-minute. So if you guys remember, when I draw out the schematic of what it looks like basically to be a trader at MentorFX, where you have a time frame of entry, a time frame of kind of validation, and then a higher time frame right here, all he's doing is, instead of just this, right, he has a few other time frames here, which allow for more opportunity, a few potentially time frames here, which allow for more opportunity, and all he does here is he has 1, 2. He has 2 branches of confirmations that he'll take. So now he's not limited, let's say, to just a 15-minute entry. He's now taking 15-minute and 1 hour, and he's stacking them up. So he's doing the exact same thing that, I've taught you guys to do forever. He's trading the exact same systems. Nothing is new. The only difference is, in his eyes, he likes to capitalize on the larger move and the smaller move and the potential of a larger run. So he had an absolutely amazing week, and that was really cool to see. It's just an amazing thing to see at any point, of course. Video capture. This should turn on my video. There you guys go. So it's nothing but just a ton of respect there, right? And then I've seen a ton of other people do just absolutely amazing stuff. Now, this week also, as a lot of you know, and hopefully you've checked it out. If you haven't, make sure you watch it after this. And first of all, welcome to anybody that's brand new. This is your quick reminder that if you're brand new, things are going to be confusing today. They should be confusing. That's a very good thing. If you're not confused by a brand new mentorship when you're first in it, then you are not in a good mentorship for the most part, okay? So welcome to anyone that's brand new. You're going to do a fuck ton this year, and it's going to be amazing. And now, I released this guy right here. Just a video called "This Got Me Funded, Your Turn." Now, this one's available, as you all know, in the hashtag system section of the remastered course. Okay, so it's right here. It's kind of very good in conjunction with the other videos I've released here, just going over how markets work, how I think about any market, how to trade any market, the exact kind of tools that we use every single day to organize ourselves, to analyze a market, to decide whether or not it's worthy to be traded. This is kind of another finale to these videos that showcases firsthand. I was doing it on another time frame to show you that it's all repeatable, in this case on a lower time frame, and what is actually available to you right at your fingertips, right? It's absolutely it should be very helpful. And the way I try to organize these areas, as a lot of you know, is that for the most part, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but for the most part, just the hashtag system area in this mentorship alone is responsible for, let's say, hours of another course you might pay for. In reality, this on its own, if I just made these three and sold it $100 a month and then called with you guys, I would see that as beyond worth what you're getting. There's a ton of jam-packed value in this, or I try to include a lot of value in this with trade plan, approach, thought process, psychology, approaching any given trade, how to do it across timeframes, etc. So just this section alone, again, the way I want you to see it is its own mini course, okay? That's the way I've tried to organize things. Just any given section acts as its own mini course. The more things you stack together, because again, they're all elements of each other, the better you get at doing this over and over and over again. So that's what's cool about the way that things are organized here. Yes, things are more over the place, but yes, as you go through them, you start realizing, holy shit, it says the same thing on repeat. There's just refinements and evolutions of concepts that I can now use to create a profitable system for myself. So this video is now released. It's going to be released to the public in about 2 to 3 weeks, but you guys get instant access to it right now. And there's just a ton here, okay? You will see every concept that is taught in this course used here, and you're going to see how, quote unquote, simple it looks once you actually have it down, right? And we did this as per the guidelines of men funding, as you guys know. So 1% risk per trade, 6% max loss, 10% profit target. And we went through it step by step. And we actually included, so this is where it benefits you to be a private member. We included all the concepts from the most recent webinars, where a big dealing part of it was starting to understand how to think about, multi-time frame approach in regards to when is it a good time to start to go down to a lower time frame, let's say, if you're trading a given time frame, and to now begin to trade it. When is it a good time to step down because the context has been met to actually follow the given market? So that video is going to include basically the teachings from the most recent 2 webinars or so as well. And overall, what you're going to see in this is me literally walk you through a process that anybody can follow if they've taken the time to understand their system and then just, follow simple rules and manage. Because here you might see that we're looking at a certain market here. Okay, what market is it that we're looking at? And you guys will know that I don't even look at this market personally, like ever. So you guys know it's not like some random where I said, okay, I'm going to go and do the market that I know is going to be good, okay? So we were looking at GBP AUD here, right? And then the question that I want to ask you is, where do you think I got this market from that made me go and look at it first, just to do this test for you guys as I walked you through my thought process in the video? Where do you think this random market came from? Yeah, from the screener. You're going to see it in that video as well. I simply filtered, once again, for a very simple filter, looking for bullishness on a 4 hour, 1 hour, and daily. Now, again, you can change these up, but that's all I did. And then I simply used one that I haven't basically looked at before. Because, as you guys might be aware, GBP AUD for me personally on a lower time frame, on a higher time frame, is not so clear. A lot of you might know that I will wait for clarity across a few more time frames before I follow a 15-minute. For me, the 15-minute here is not extremely clear for a setup. But what do we know about having a time frame of like a 15-second or a 1 minute as your entry? Well, that means that now the hires don't have to be as clear. The 15-minute can put you in a market environment that is worth trading. Okay? So what's cool is the video that you're going to watch. Okay, the video you're going to watch on this trade plan happened here. This is all the data we used. Just so you guys know, this was all replay mode, so I didn't know what was going to happen. You're going to see it firsthand. This is all we used. This was about 2 days of price action. And in those 2 days of price action, we, without getting stopped out or without taking a loss on our challenge, passed a 11% profit, 10% profit target of men funding. Okay, doing nothing more but following extremely simple rules. And, as you might be aware, looking for moments in time when it was worthy to step down. 10% in 2 days. Yep, you're going to see it firsthand in the video. It's nothing special. It's just the fact that we were trading a much lower time frame. So you're going to get a lot more trades during that time. Okay. 10th trade was not -1. That triggered me while watching. Oh, was it really? The 10th trade was a... Oh, you're right. So it's actually a 12% profit. Even better. So we actually did even better than we thought we would have done. Okay. But this was given a very extremely simple trade plan where all I did is took 1 to 3 RR. So 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 1 to 3. A lot of you, as you're looking at this, should understand how just some of the management rules taught in this mentorship that I've shown you through my trading, through my examples, through my MentorFX trade ideas that I personally use, right? Just simple trailing rules should show you what's truly available just in these trades alone. That's 35R, this was 22R, this one was 12R, this one not so much actually, right, etc. And this was all waiting for a worthy enough moment to trade, right? So someone asked, would comms not be an issue trading a 15-second for a $1 million account? It might be a little bit of an issue, but look, so you're looking at a 5.5 pip stop loss, okay? On a 1 mil account, if you're risking 1%, you're talking about a 10K risk. So yeah, you might actually have a little bit of issue there, right? So 10K, usually over 5. So like about 200 lots, right? Is that right? About 200 lots. So yeah, you would possibly, with a $1 million account, have that kind of issue, right? But again, the point of this video was to show you why I say all the time that as you scale, you may want to work yourself up. But at the same time, what's truly available to you if you're trading like 100K, 200K, 300K, 400K, and these kind of numbers that even right now might seem very, very crazy and high to you. And truly what's available in front of you if you follow simple rules, right? So what's cool is, in that video, this is what you're going to see, right? You're going to see me take extremely simple rules, 1 to 3 RR, and trade moments in time that simply met the conditions that I normally look for. Overall bullish, right? So most time frame showing bullishness. Let me go like this. Most time frame showing bullishness, or there's accumulation across multiple time frames, which we can see through the screener. The screener basically does that for you. Okay, very easy. Then you skip down and it wasn't distribution, so we waited. It started entering accumulation, and as it became clear here, we began the follow through the same tools I've taught you in the last like 2-3 webinars, which is basically envision the green box and where you can trade. Envision the green box where you can trade. Envision the green box where you could trade. Envision the green box where you could trade, right? It comes down, you start ignoring it, and then again, envision the green box and where you can trade, right? These are all moments that occur every single day, first of all, just so you guys understand. And this was a test that was conducted, well, at the end of it, because all I was doing was trying to see, with a 1% risk, at how long could it take you, given a screener-based market condition, how long could it take you to pass a funded evaluation following rules that are not hard to get by, right? These are 1 to 3 RR plays with a 1-to-1 BE. That's it. And in this scenario, it took 2 days. Okay, so that was absolutely beautiful. And what's cool about this is I had a few members basically talk to me and say, it's kind of insane that the money you made was basically through, if you really think about it, one impulse, right? That's really all. Like the 10RR was made out of this impulse and this mini impulse here, right? And then I just want to draw your attention to, let's assume you're a trader that's like, you're so not sure yet. You're kind of having the issues of FOMO. You're like, damn, but if I miss that, I'm out. I'm going to ask you guys if this was enough to get funded right here. Okay, let's draw a box around that. So from there, basically, to there was enough to get funded. Okay, I'm going to make this blue. Or to make 10%, whatever it might be. I'm going to ask you guys a crazy question now. Do you think, and again, notice these, so I'm going to ask you guys to notice something as I normally do. What do you notice about the entries I'm taking in regards to where the MAs are, or where price is in regards to the MAs, when trades are taken? Are they taken in the times where price is on, let's say, on the downside? Am I ever taking longs inside of these little areas that are starting to pan up or anything like that? Or what am I doing? Where are all the entries that you see? So this is just a simple game of observation. Whether you're new or not, it doesn't matter. All you have to do right now is play this game of observation with me, okay? So usually people are noticing that on the 15-minute, okay, let's see. Some people are saying above MAs. The MAs are below. Price surfs the MAs. The MAs are upsloping. There's support from the MAs. Price is on the upside. It's above the 50, usually above the 20, both going up. Jury says MAs clearly moving up and not extended. Finn says close to the MA on the upside. Jarak says upsloping MAs. Philip says above MAs. Lukash says above. Alex says doesn't matter. Arch says 20 up. 50 sideways or up. Exactly. So with just a few minutes, guys, in a few minutes, you've all created a potential contextual clue that all of you can use right now, even if you're brand new, to decide whether or not it's even worth to step down another time frame. Do you see any longs taken in, let's say, an environment where prices are on the downside of downward sloping MAs? Do you see a trade taken here? Okay, when is the next first trade taken? Where is price in relation to, let's say, the MAs? Right, exactly. So that's already on its own potentially a contextual clue that you can use for your given trading. Right, very, very simple. Now I'm going to ask you an even crazier question. Let's say you do have the problem of FOMO. Let's say you truly do have that issue. Well, here's going to be the question. If this was enough to make 10%, do you think you could have made 10% in this moment here? Do you think you could have made 10% in this moment here? I'll even make it like this to make it super clear what I'm doing. Do you think you could have made 10% in, well, you'd ignore all this. You'd probably start trading. Maybe you might look for something here and you maybe take a loss or a break even, right? That's fine. Weights, then maybe around here. Whoops. Then around here, probably on the upside. I hope you're all seeing how I think about price and why I've never FOMO'd any move ever. Do you think in the next coming days, if you're a 15-second trader, you can take edge out of this if this continues on its given move? Right? This is nothing more than following the exact same thing. Right? But again, if you don't have defined reasons for an area that you might look, then of course you're going to take infinitely more losses. Because if you're the trader that thinks you're going to catch a low, hey, you know, it's ready to go up. Hey, it's ready to go up. Hey, it's ready to go up. 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 If you're the trader that thinks you're going to catch the low, that's when you start to lose big time. Okay? But yes, this video is going to be very, very powerful because it's going to show you exactly that. You find contextual markets in which your pattern is going to make you a fuck ton of money. And then you simply wait for them. And when they're not happening, you don't have to be a trader, right? I've seen a lot of people send me examples of prices where they go, okay, GA is bullish. And I'm sure some of you have done this and you go, holy shit. Let me even get rid of the MAs so they're not even in the way and making us think of anything. Oh my God, holy shit. Price is building an S&D and starting to move long, right? It's like, it's like, wow, in a bullish market. But the reality of this move is like, what is telling you this is ready? What has it done for you? Like, what has it actually put into the price that's showing you that, hey, there wants to be some kind of longs to come into this, right? This, first of all, this is one of the reasons that I personally now use the MAs in my trading. It makes filtering those areas even easier for myself, right? There are endless amounts of people that want to try and predict these kind of lows here, right? And this is one way that I stay out of all of that nonsense, to put it simply. Let me make this larger. I'm going to scroll up here a little bit. So yes, the most recent video made available, okay, is basically going to show you firsthand how following simple rules can make you extremely profitable. Okay, that's number one. Not necessarily saying you're going to be trading a 1 mil or 2 mil account doing this, but showing you firsthand what it can take to get funded. A lot of you that might be sitting with yourself going, oh my God, you know, the next big step is 100K funded. I really need to figure out how to do this. It's going to be a long process. It's like, no, the process of getting funded is exuberantly easy. It's unbelievable how easy it is. The process of getting to the point where it's super easy to get funded is the hard part. Right? That's the work that you're doing now. That's what I want a lot of you to realize. You're collecting the data right now so you can do this live without having to think about it. You're not doing it so that then it's like this big uphill battle when you're ready. This is going to feel like an uphill battle if you haven't done the work prior. This is where you take your funded evaluations, you keep blowing them, you lose them randomly, you die to random like rollovers and red news, and you're constantly on the wrong side of price, and you get really like emotional over the fact that something failed, rather than following simple rules that have shown you what price wants to do. A big part of this video here, okay, a big part of it is to show you exactly that, to show you how if you have a developed plan, even if it's not perfect. So in this video, as you guys know, I use a simple 1 to 3 RR, right? I left anywhere from 30, 20, 10, so over 60 RR just from these trades. Like over 50 RR was left on the table is what I want you to realize from this. And still, with a system that's clearly imperfect, due to the fact that I've taken the time to understand the context I'm going to trade in, the market conditions that are worth trading in, when it's even worth to step down and start watching for something, it made me profitable, right? And you can do the exact same thing. The process of getting funded and all this stuff doesn't have to be complex or hard or something that feels like impossible, but it will feel impossible if you haven't done any of the prior work to it, right? As always, that has always been the case. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit here and go through some stuff. So it's better quality. That's good to hear. Anybody? Okay, we went through that. And with a trailing system, you could have made much more. Exactly. And that's one thing to remember. That is one huge reason that a lot of you have seen my personal system improve and improve and improve over time. The rules for my management get better and better and better. The ability for myself to, for the most part, stay in trades, okay, has gotten a lot better because I've developed simple rules that now just let me sustain more of the profit of a move, right? And all of a sudden, 1 RR or a risk of 1 RR has now become worth potentially about 10 RR in gains, right? This is a 10 RR trade, well, 9.83. Truly, like, think to yourself what that means. That means I can take 10 other trades and still be break even if I lose them all in a row. That is an insane way to think about it when you start to understand what risk looks like. It is one thing that gives me ultimate confidence that I will never have to think like poorly about a loss or start to think emotionally about something occurring, right? And Schelling says you just adjust your risk management accordingly. Exactly. So given the actual account size you're trading, the leverage you're trading, you would adjust it accordingly. The point of this video wasn't to say like, this is exactly what you're going to do. It's to show you, you know, at a basic risk assumption, what's available and what's on the table in a small move like this one, right? And like when you take this into account, if you can make 10%, 20%, even 5%, 1% in a move like this, what do you think is going to happen when it does the same thing? Can you do the same thing? Yes. What's going to happen the next time you try to do it? Yes. What's going to happen the next time you try to do it? Yes. What's going to happen the next time you try to do it? and now you're in a runner. And now your small, tiny trade that should just play out to be a normal 1 to 3 or a simple trade ends up being one of those, like exuberant runs that you can't even imagine, right? That is how these kind of moves occur. That is how this kind of move occurred, right? It's just the repetition of the exact same thing. It's like my US 100 trades, I mean, you guys have followed me for a while now, have just been the same repeated rule, just giving me insane moves. And again, like I spoke about this last week as well, this is that moment, let's say on GA, right? Like I showed in the video, on a 15 second where your edge is going to play out here to here. Can you make easily 10% out of that? Yes. Can you do it here? Yes. Can you do it here? Potentially no, but maybe. Can you do it in here? Yes. Right? These are all those opportunities. Let's say if you're someone that's trading a lower time frame. And now look what's setting up, guys. If you're a 15-second trader, what do you think's available right here next week? Right? Price starts going up. You start watching for your rules. And again, that is one of those opportunities to do that over and over and over again. And where do these random pairs and these random markets and assets come from? The exact same thing that I've now personally been using forever. The market's showing you which markets likely are going to be bullish, right? Those are in front of you. So those are the ones that I've been watching, right? You guys know that I've been watching CHF JPY as well. I watched it actually last week. And then I took a trade, took an instant loss on it, and then it ran. And that's fine, right? Look at what this moment here is on a lower time frame, right? It's the exact same thing. Does that meet the rules of that GA? Does it look the same? The answer is yes. Could you have gone in position? Well, go and study it. Let's see what's available to you, right? And then you do this over and over again. You start realizing how much is available to you, or how much is available right in front of you. Let me replay mode this. Right, like take a look at this. It's an unbelievable amount of availability. Where's the structure? Is it dead? Oh, it's all the way back here. I'm also fixing, just so you guys know, I'm fixing the Mentafx structure right now to show even more ranges. So that's going to be out very soon for all of you, so you can see all the ranges without having to replay mode. But all of you should be able to see, before I even step down, the opportunities that are going to be available in here, 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 here. And I mean, at this point, it gets a little bit extended, but so maybe as your last resort here, right? These are all potentially multi 5K, 10K opportunities, if you want to think about it that way, right? Let's go like this, right? So, and as you follow this up, these are those opportunities on, let's say, a lower time frame, right? Not all of them are going to be clear. Like, I don't see anything clear here. Maybe this one is okay. Maybe this one's okay. This one's pretty clean. I like that one a lot, right? Those are just like, even one of these is the way you have to think about it. Even one of these, let's say, risked using either the normal methodology of protecting the overall low, or the green box, as you guys know, the one that I teach. So I'll actually show you. Let's go back here. So you can protect the overall low of the ICI, which is a simple management system. That's the one I use in the video, where when you have an ICI, when you enter it, you simply protect the overall low here and just look to take it, to make it very simple on your psychology, so you don't have to worry about price, for instance, doing something like this, right? And you can just be in it. Or, as you get better, protecting a portion of the move, because you're at that last possible moment. So in this case, I would protect this green box, probably either under this body or under the wick. It's really up to me, up to you, right? And then that could be your trade, right? Both of them end up working. It's just one is going to offer more money as it goes on the upside, right? So any one of these trades, but notice, like, any one of these trades protected using, let's say, this system right here, which is the system you're going to see in this video got me funded. This video got me funded, right? Any one of these trades, do you think it's enough to potentially pass a funded evaluation, or let's say to make enough for the given month that you're living in right now to cover your current expenses, right? And the second you start asking yourself these questions and you start realizing the answer is clearly a big yes, you start to realize how little you actually have to do in, let's say, the trading space once you got it down, right? This is why a lot of the things taught here is, guys, go through the whole thing, because once you go through it, you're gonna fucking get it. It's all gonna be understood. But that's all, right? Any one of these trades can be responsible for a 10R month, for a 5R month, for a 4R month, for a 6R month, for a 20R month, whatever it might be. And you really need to understand that, because that should also distinguish or remove all your fear of, holy shit, like I started missing the move. It's like, no, you didn't, right? Look, it's setting up again right now. Here's another ICI setting up right now. And if you want to, again, make your system super simple, protect the low, look to take it, right? I mean, like, your system doesn't have to be hard, okay? You just need to execute it. Then it starts going. Look at this. It starts setting up again, right? Take it, protect the low, look to take it, right? All these opportunities are worth potentially 5, 10, 20, whatever it might be, RR, okay? Over and over and over again. Use your management rules, etc., 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 right? Any one of these. And a lot of people get stuck in the fact that if they miss the initial move or they miss a first move, they're done for. It's like, that's not true. You just need to be cognizant and recognize where you are in a market, right? And as you get better and better, you will create rules for yourself to get better and better, right? And I mean, like, look at this. I just want you guys to realize, like, even your mentor doesn't get it, quote unquote, right all the time. Like, look at this. I took this buy stop. I got tapped in. I instantly got tapped out with this two candles. Boom. And look what price did, right? But like, this doesn't bother me. Okay, I just want you to guys, I just really want this to get through. Here's my -1 on CHF-JPY. Holy shit, no way I took a -1. Even on GU, I took a loss. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, golly. It's like, let's undo the nonsense that a lot of Instagram mentors and all this fun stuff have instilled in us. And let's just focus on doing the same thing on repeat and taking our losses beautifully, okay? Because, like, there's no aspect of me that cares about this. Like, yeah, okay, it sucks I missed out on a move. Okay, on to the next one. That's it. Oh, it sucks. It sucks that I didn't miss out on a move, but in this case lost. Oh, unbelievable. It's like, okay, who cares, right? And again, all these green boxes you see are just those opportunities on like a lower time frame if you're one of those traders. All right, these are all those opportunities. There's going to be another one probably. I mean, this is not setting up nicely right now, but give it some time, and boom, you'll have another green box here that you can now be a potential trader of, right? It doesn't have to be complex, but it needs to have grounding. It needs to have rules. It needs to have moments in time where you're willing to now follow something, right? That is how you build edge. That's how you build profit. Over and over and over again, okay? Alexander says in the video it was like 1 day. So it was much less than 2 days because we stayed out of a lot of price too, right? That's what people also forget is that in this video, right, you're going to see it, we had rules for staying out. Once we were in, as price began to fail, we stayed out of all this until price began to accumulate again. And around here, right here, we started watching for longs again. And that's where we got positioned, right? And again, I would have kept following this if I didn't reach my profit target yet, and you guys would have been fine with that. And then I'd stop following it again here. And then I'd start following it again here or here or here, because those are all those same opportunities. Guys, I'm going to do a crazy test right now, okay? Let's not even say you missed one of these. First question is, do you think there's going to be a profitable 15-second trade inside of each one of these? Okay, the answers are yes. That's good. Do you think there's going to be more than one potentially profitable trade available in one of these? In any one of these? Yes. Do you think that missing 5 out of the 6 available trades that might be in these is going to completely alter your system and makes you a bad trader? Okay, fantastic. So now, again, you've learned an element of why there's no FOMO for me at any time. All right, guys, let's do a quick, just for fun. It's straw poll time. Okay? We're going to look at 1, 2, or 3. Which box should we make some money in? We're just going to test it for fun. Here we are. All right, guys, jump in there. We'll see which one you guys want to look at. Just to really cement the idea that you do not need to get in on every move. I saw a big issue with a lot of people last week that messaged me or messaging and were like, I can't believe I'm missing a lot of here, I'll show you this. I can't believe I'm missing a lot of these moves, right? It's so sad to me. What do I do? Right? Some guy even said, like, when price was here, not on GA, but like on another market, he said, oh my God, look, it made a big move. Because on a 15 second, what do you think has happened inside of this area? What do you think has happened? Can any of you tell me what do you think happened inside of this 15-second area right here when price made this beautiful move up on a 15-minute? Yeah, the 15-second did this. It went, boom, made a beautiful setup here. Boom, made a beautiful setup here again. Boom. So somebody that's watching a 15-minute, what do you think a 15-second, what do you think they feel when they're looking here? Yeah, they think the bullishness is over, but most importantly, they think, holy shit, I missed the move. Or, holy shit, I need rules that are going to keep me in this move. Right? How do I get in this? So then what do they start to do? Well, they start to look for price, for longs, anywhere. And again, you lead to the same issue. The same people, the people that lose in the markets are the ones that start looking for longs, let's say, here. They start looking for longs 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 here. Here. You can all see how that happens. If you're the trader that starts to do this, guess what? You will get these moves, but you'll also have what? Random results. Because now you're looking at random pieces of price, okay, to try to get trades. On the other hand, if you're a trader that consistently starts looking here for trades and then onwards, 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 what do you think is going to happen? You're going to start to have consistency because now there's consistency behind the way that you look for trades, right? That's all that happens. And again, even though these moments can be rewarded, why wouldn't you just start looking at price here instead? Okay? If you just made the simple shift of looking here instead of here, you could change your system into a multi-bag winner versus an overall loser or break-even trade or break-even system. Do you guys understand this? You need to, like, I beg you guys to truly understand that just because a move is happening or some kind of move has happened and just because it might be clean with your pattern or setup does not mean it's a tradable market, okay? You need to wait for those contexts and those moments of consistency where you make your money. They will become available. The thing repeats on repeat. The markets do the same fucking thing. If you start looking for longs here, you lose. If you start looking for longs here, you lose. If you start looking for longs here, you lose. If you start looking for longs here, you lose. Look at this. And then you're sitting there. Imagine this on a 15-second. Oh, it's just fucking what is happening? I'm losing so much money. I can't ever get it right. Anton, look at the context. Anton, it told me it's bullish, Anton. What the fuck is this tool? Well, what the fuck are you doing looking at this? And then if you look at it here, and you keep looking at it, that's your money made. This is free money. So why do we not wait for simple moments in time where money is accessible, where it's clear what money wants to do? If you learn to wait for them, you will make money. Okay, let's see what we voted. We voted number 2. All right. Let's go look at number 2. Here we go. We'll even go back here, okay? So we can truly back test it, okay? Here we go. I can't look at the 15-second because I haven't subscribed my trading view, which is the best for entry. It doesn't matter. You can use any time frame. Okay, here we are. Here we are on the 15-second. Look at this, guys. We missed this trade and this trade. What do we do? Oh, fuck. It's like, okay. This is where the people that think that are going to lose over time because now they're going to start looking for prices even earlier, even a little bit earlier, instead of going, okay, price has now met bullishness. What's the one main thing? What's one huge rule that I taught you guys in this video right here? This premium workshop. What was one of the rules that you do to look for an entry on the time frame of entry? What was one of the things to wait for? Anyone that's seen this? Not reaccumulation. No, nothing like that. Perfect. Mueller said it right. The top of the range, or right, the early showcase that money has come in. Now the question is, has money come in at this point? Are we near the top of the range? Or is price showing us a very, very clear sign that it's either chopping or going down? Which one is it, A or B, right? Again, the more you define things in this kind of simple classification mode, A or B, is money coming in, or is it dragging? Is it sidewaysing? Is it fucking weak to strong handing, right? Now the question is, because now we're on a lower time frame, has money entered this market in some capacity? Is it clear that the money's moving in a certain direction? Are there ranges that are being created showcasing that money's behind this? Are the models that are moving with the market showing us a certain kind of thing? We're in extreme reaccumulation. We're in extreme bullishness. We're in extreme early form accumulation, which has just undergone clearer stage 1, which means, and we validated an FMB, which means you're very likely going to expect some kind of markup before the next sideways. Is this overextended in any way? Is it crazy beyond the move where it could be? No. It's very clear. Is it on the upside of price, let's say? Yes. Notice how we didn't have to trade this chop. We can wait. So let's go ahead and step down. Let's watch for our given entry. Okay? Now, based on your criteria, right? Again, this is a buy stop of an MB. Don't forget that. So if you buy stop this, there are multiple ways that you can start managing this, especially early. In the video you're going to watch or have already seen, this MetaFX trade plan, this got me funded, okay? That can get you funded too. I just did a simple system like this. Protect the overall low, watch for 1 to 3, break even at 1 to 1. That's it. That's where you can start your findings, okay? Just remember that. So right now, price is on the downside of the move, so I don't like it personally, so we'll wait a little bit, okay? Let's wait for it to come up. Okay, and it starts going sideways. So let's say I'm a little bit late to this. Whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter. So the move I'm looking at right now is, here's an inside ICI. There it is. And here's the larger ICI, right? It's a fractal of a fractal. Now, simply, I can buy it as is and protect either this ICI's low or the overall low. That's really up to you. Both are potential opportunities. I'm going to do this one and focus on my 1 to 3, just like I taught you guys in that trade plan, without any other crazy management. Yes, I'm going to go over my US 100 trade after this to show you my management and what I do, because I've done that every single week. But I'm showing you firsthand how you do not need complexity in the beginning, right? If you're learning to be profitable, you can be profitable through simplicity and improve over time. It's very important that you understand that. Okay. This is, just so you guys know, this is also an opportunity right here. So anyone that might have bought this, you protect the overall ICI. You could also be in this trade, but we'll ignore that one for now. It's fine because we're in a trade, okay? Okay, and your move starts. Fantastic. You made 3%. Okay, 3RR. And if you're managing, even better. Now again, for me personally, okay, I like to wait for a clearer reaccumulation. Not a mini one. I like to see clear back and forth into new setups. I don't like the short pauses. If you had a system where you took buy stops after short pauses, can it be profitable, guys? Thank you. Yes, exactly. A lot of you might have rules where you'll wait for price to make a big move and you'll take the first buy stop that you can. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I really need a lot of you to realize that, like, there's no right or wrong there. There's just what works for you as a trader. So I'll wait for my next opportunity. Okay, this is not clear enough for me yet. I want more sideways. Now that was okay, but even then it's not enough for me. Usually I'd want to see it undergo even more. So like all of this would be price action I'd ignore until right around here. Now, right, there we go. I miss a move. So like if this started going sideways here, I would 100% take this. But now it's a missed move and that's fine by me. I can give up this money. I don't care. It's not important to me. And we have a setup, right? Now it's perfection. What am I looking at, right? This at the end of the day is a buy stop of an MB, or you could see this as a double MB, right? It's a double fractalized MB if that's how you want to see it. Another person might just see it as an ICI. Another person might see it as a stage 1 plus an ICI. All of this is true. This is personally what I look for. So again, if you were to draw it, this is the move. So we protect the overall low, and we look to take it to 1 to 3. First of all, where are we on the 15-minute is important to me, right? So at the time of entry, which would be around here, we're not too far beyond this point, which means that it's perfectly fine for me to look at it. Let's continue with our given move, right? So do we get tapped in? Okay, so we get tapped in. Let's see if we can take a loss or not. This is also, just so you guys know, this is also an opportunity. And some of you that maybe have a rule to buy stop a already bullish market, right? Imagine this. If you wait for the bullishness and then buy stop, that would work. If you wait for bullishness and now buy stop, that could still work. That could on its own be a full system. Okay? Okay, and you made more money. Now, let's say you've made fucking bags, okay? You have your Porsche, you've fed your mom's retired, whatever it is, you've made your money. What are now some ways, guys, that we can improve our earning potential just through management? What is something we can do? Go straight to the rules that I've taught you guys. Not even higher time frame. Yep, trailing. What is one way we could now trail? Let's start to make our system better. What is one way that we can trail? What do I teach you guys? Yep, use 2 MBs and go to the most recent 2 MB low. Okay, so now we're going to assume we're still in this trade. Let's say we take 50% off, and the rest we trail with the 2 MB rule. So we start trailing. So here you might get stopped out. If you do, great. Okay, done. That trade's done. Now this one, we take a 50%, and we trail to 2 MB rule. Okay, I'll keep trailing. Okay, so this one actually didn't make that big of a move, right? So in this case, these trailing rules specifically didn't actually make us more or less money. It was like the same. Yeah. So then the other 50% at 1.15. So this overall worked out to like plus 2.3 or something. And this one worked out to plus like 2.1. Well, yeah, Alex says it correctly. You can still trail the burst also. Exactly, right? But that's something you would add on over time. It's not something that you would do right now, right? So my point of this was to show you that in the beginning, you can keep it simple in your trading, right? Go back to the 15-minute, take a look at where we are. Now you could assume we're extended. So this is another moment where you might not watch price. You might wait for a clear model to start following it again. So let's wait, right? Comes down, catches up with price. You could even start watching off of this FMB right now. Okay, so like right now is fine to start watching. Okay, let's keep doing it. Here we are. We're back to the trading. It's not an accumulation though, so let's wait for accumulation. Okay, look how easy it is to stay out of bad price. Oh my God, it's good. It made a bullet. Oh my God, I gotta go. It's like, okay, but nothing's clear yet, right? It hasn't met my rules, so I get to sit back and wait. Still not an accumulation. Still not an accumulation. I can wait. And I can wait, and I can wait because I don't need to trade this kind of price action. Look how much price action I can stay out of by simply looking. By the way, just so you guys know, my eyes are right here. Look how much price action I get to stay out of this chop by just looking to the bottom right of my screen. Oh my God, Ment! How come every time I enter, it's going sideways, Ment? Well, wait for a market that's clear. Then take your entry. Don't make it complex on yourself. Wait. I'm just looking bottom right now. Oh, look at that. We're going straight down. Back to my 15-minute to wait for clarity as to when I can trade. Hell, what do you know? We're in stage 1. Let's wait for something bullish. Yay, we get to ignore it all. Has money, in some respect, come in on the 15-minute, yes or no? Some people are saying no. I would say yes. It's bullish. We know it's bullish. The screener is showing us bullishness. We just underwent some sideways and we broke a fractalized MB long right here. So now we can watch here for continuation. Okay? That's how you can think about it. This is demand validation. This is a type 2 demand validation right here. Right? Or FMB validation, however you want to think about it. Right? Because this is also an MB validation right here from the remastered course. You guys know what an MB is now from an MB validation standpoint and a normal demand validation. Now notice, guys, oh my God, I missed all the longs here and here and here. Oh, fuck. But guess what? This is only the beginning. The move has now proven to us what? What's money doing? What has the move proven to us? That money's coming in. Now is the time to stock for our longs. The crazy part is when all the money in the world, this is your smart money concept traders, all the crazy traders, are now going, Hululu, get me in. Oh no, where's my short? Guys, but this is when it's just shown us that money's coming in. Now, we can wait for our setup. Go sideways. Hopefully we get an ICI now. Look at this. This is perfection. It's perfection. You have this ICI. Okay? Buy, stop the high. Now remember, if you're me, what are you doing here? You're probably throwing your stop here or down here. If you're not me, you're throwing it right here under the overall low, just like I taught you, 1 to 3. Alrighty. We wait, and we're in. Now, let's say you're crazy, guys. Let's say you're crazy, okay? You're already profitable. You've retired your mother. You're super profitable, okay? Now, you want to start taking multiple trades. Let me ask you something. Is this an ICI? It is. So now you can take a second trade because it's moving correctly and protect the low. Now, another part of you might say this is also a fractal ICI. What I mean by that is you could say this on its own is a mini form of an ICI. Even though this one's above, it's still an ICI. So you could now protect this low, okay, and look at a trade like this. Is there anything wrong with what I just did? Someone said, oh no, they said no. Okay, we're good. Okay, so let's take this one too. Now we'll take any other one that sets up, but right now all we're doing is 1 to 3 because all we know is that we're profitable. We're going to get into new trades if they give us an opportunity. Otherwise, we're going to just take 1 to 3. Okay, we get tapped in. Is this an ICI trade? Is it too far above anything yet? For me, it's not, so I'd be okay with this. So you could take this one too. Now, in this case, you'd have to protect this low, which doesn't make much sense because now you'd have 3% risk on basically one low. So I'm going to take this away and keep it as is. I would probably not take that, but it is an opportunity. I just want you guys to notice that this is still another opportunity for a trade. These are all opportunities after it looked like prices couldn't go any more higher up. Just remember that. Okay? You take a loss on that one. Now, it's setting up again. What is this? Not that one, sorry, this one. Right? So let's record our loss. Or is it? -1. And let's take another trade because it's moving in tandem with what we see. We protect the low of this point, like I've taught you, 1 to 3. Okay. Fails under, so we cancel this. We wait for the next potential ICI. There it is. Now, some of you might not like that trade. Some of you might say this is too small. Some of you might wait for one up here. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to take it because for me, it's actually pretty clear. This one right here. Okay, so we'll buy stop this. Stop under the low. 1 to 3. Why not the last high? You could, if you wanted to, you could go here, but this is the ICI right here setting up for me. So fails again. Look at that. We get to prevent taking any trades, and we keep waiting. Now it's becoming a little bit choppy, so you might stay out of it and wait for it to become clear. Comes up, wait for another ICI up here. If it happens, it doesn't. And there's one up here, but this would be too high for me, so we'll just hold the trade as is. 1-to-1 is met, so you move your trade to break even. There's another trade setting up now, actually. Let's see if we get an ICI. It's not so clear yet. I'd probably ignore this. One more candle. Yeah, that looks good. So again, you're having another setup. There's this one, and then there's this one. They both operate the same way, which is phenomenal. So you can buy stop that high, protect the low. Look at your 1 to 3. Tapped in, tapped out, take your -1. Now, you could be a trader. Sorry. You could be a trader up here, but I don't see it. But again, this is up to your rules. This is the beauty of trading and the beauty of rules. Okay, keep holding whatever this trade. Okay, nice accumulation now. So now we might get a trade, but nope, goes into distribution, goes back into accumulation. Not clean, so no new trade. So we just hold, and we're done. And despite... and overall, we're still up in our R. It's just unfair what can happen, right? This is why you'll even see, for instance... I'll take a loss inside of wins, and I won't give a single shit about it, right? Because my winners will pay for losses nonstop, even during the trade, right? This is the beauty of, over time, refining your system, refining your management. This is the beauty of it, okay? So again, and as we look here, just so you guys know, that trade we won was here. You know there's going to be another opportunity here, right? Yeah, and Kyle says this kind of looks like a way to scale into a position. It is. The way you scale into positions isn't by just buying more. You scale in by simply waiting for the setup to happen. And if it happens, then you can buy it again, right? There's no need to complicate that. There you have it. Exactly, Alex. It's a framework for patience. Art says, if we're entering on a minute 1, should we be drawing the green box opportunities on the 30-minute? You could. 30-minute, 1 hour, 15-minute could even work, right? But probably 30-minute, yeah, exactly. Right, like here's a 15-minute on GA, right? Again, where's a good moment just like the ones we just looked at? Bullish, probably anywhere in here is one of those moments, right? Does everyone understand why one of these moments would be a time to scale down to a lower time frame? Does everyone see how this moment here is the exact same as any other that we just looked at? Does everyone understand that, first of all? Because that's important to me that you understand that. The fact that we've created accumulation, there are bullish MBs, we're above upward sloping MAs, we've had a stage 1 or at least some kind of sideways, and now we're breaking through FMB highs. That's a 15-minute trade by itself. Why go down? Because, so this is the problem, Sahad. It looks like it might be a 15-minute trade, but the 15-minute trade might be up here. Because maybe here, the 1 hour, which might be your validation, is still very bearish or not clear. But yes, you're right. You could take a trade here too. The 15-minute might have a trade here as well. Don't get me wrong. But we're not talking about being a 15-minute trader right now. We're talking about being a lower time frame trader. So now you could step down to your 1 minute, just like the guy just now asked, you know, and take a look. It's unbelievable it's available. Here's a phenomenal trade. Here's a little bit late, but still a fine trade. And here's a fine trade right there. That one would have... So again, this is one of those moments where if you're taking it with my rules, you're taking a break even or a loss here. If you're taking it with the rules I gave you, that's a profitable trade. This is the really, really cool thing about developing it over time. This is why I'm teaching you guys to start very simple, so you understand how to predict moves, get used to what moves actually do, so that you can then improve to the point where you're fully capable and confident in taking on, let's say, a smaller stop or protecting an area and just taking the loss and being wrong about it, right? Because for me, it's worth taking this loss so that I can then take this win. Because now, what would have been a 1 to 5 RR or 1 to 3 RR, because that might be your beginning, it's now become a 7 RR partial for 3.5, and then a close at 6 for 3.1. So I just made 6 RR off this trade and lost 1 here, and I made 5 RR total, right? So that's the way that I think. And over time, I know that runners, if runners start, I am just in the money. It's just easy. Because now, when I do get runners, well, you guys saw it yourself. When I get my runners, the game becomes exceptionally easy to be played for me, right? I just sit back and just let it do its thing. And then get positioned again if I can, of course. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back up a little bit and see if anyone said anything crazy. Crazy. Where were we? First above the MA. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit because there's a lot of messages. So I'm going to start at the 11:15 a.m. area. Jonathan says, you're going down in time frames once demand validates, intermediary high, enter structural. Yes. M2P says, but Anton, is this mandatory to use the MA? I do. It's not mandatory for you to do anything whatsoever, though, as you know. Just remember, the things I do for a reason, right? I found them profitable for me. I found them easier than the things I was doing before, and I found them to be more profitable than what I was doing prior, right? They have created simplicity for me. They have created contextual simplicity. They have created opportunity for me when other things haven't. That's all it is, right? I'm just showing you exactly what I do and where it has all come from. And I'm showing you how it's also part of the same thing. It's just I've put tools on top that have made doing everything I've done easier. I take many less losses, clean break-evens, clean wins, because again, I get involved in those final moments where, in my mind, it just makes sense, right? And as a result, I get to sit and reap the benefits of that, like, with no issue, which means that, again, I trade less, but again, I trade the markets that just make sense to be traded. At the same time, we can short on the 15-second entry if the 15-minute context is clearly moving down. So that's the thing, right? Yes, theoretically, when the 15-minute was doing, where was it? When the 15-minute was doing this, yeah, you could be shorting, but I, Anton, wouldn't. Right? Because the market has shown me one thing. So I know that if I'm shorting any of these moments, there's a high likelihood that I'm going to enter a market condition of new bullishness or chop and sideways. Because if a market is showing overall bullishness and the 15-minute, let's say, starts breaking down bearish, the likelihood isn't clean follow through to the downside. The likelihood is actually weak to strong hand transfer of people that want to do what? Get as short as they possibly can. I'm not here to play the devil's advocate of the trend. It's just not worth my time. I'd much rather short a market that's overall doing what? Moving bearish. If USDCHF set up this same condition right here, I would be shorting the living shit out of USDCHF. If GBP AUD, a bullish market, is setting this up, the problem is, it's not that you can't make money in this, it's that the likelihood is that if this happens enough times, the market's not going to do this, it's going to do this. This is where people get trapped. They think that because it's happened once, it's going to happen again, and when they try to get involved in it, they get chopped out, or the market starts its bullish run. And they get trapped on going 50-50 on either side, and they don't know where to make money now. I'm not going to sit here and look for the lower time frame shorts just because price is breaking down. It's not worth my time. The markets that are bearish at the moment, like UJ, let's say, holy shit, it's super bearish. When it enters a model like this, these are moments now that a 15-second trader should be shorting the living shit out of, right? If we can trade under this, and make an FMB like this, right? Just create an FMB, a short one. That's where I'm looking lower time frame to short. That's an opportunity because now it's lining up with the context that's telling you price is very likely to fall off given the short context. But now, if this price began to go long, I wouldn't start watching for longs here. Why? Because the likeliness of a longing market here is to do what? Either short, or chop, and build a longer range. I don't want to take those trades. I'm not interested in sitting there taking those like guesswork trades that are going to consistently take me out. You understand? It's a very, very important concept here. There's no point there because you need to understand one, the market mechanics. How do markets move? And the reality is, yes, it can create good moves, but look at what happened truly every time a shorting market came in. Look, remember this. So take this and you said, I want to short here. Remember this? Now let's see what would have happened if you did that every time. I want to short here. Uh-oh, chop. Okay, let's do it again. I want to short here. Uh-oh, chop. I want to short here. Uh-oh, chop. I want to short, wait for it. Ooh, I want to short here. Here I go. Fuck. I want to short. Wait for it. Boom. No, not yet. We'll wait. I want to short. Boom. I want to short right now. I want to short. Fuck. Chop and then bullish. So the problem is you get used to seeing stuff like this and you go, oh my God, I can be a short trader in a long market and it's going to be so clean. But this happens 1 in 20 times. The other 19, you're going to go through this. So why would you ever want to short it? Short the contexts that are short, not the ones that are long. Yes, longing markets will have breakdowns, but my goal as a trader isn't to predict this. I'm going to leave that to the dumb money. They are free to predict this all they want because the people that predict this are the ones that build up the liquidity, that build up the orders, that end up doing this. That's where I'm getting in. And I know I can get in on any moment here, or even here, and make money. That's where my edge comes in. I don't give a fuck about the traders that are like sitting here. It's worthless, right? So I'm not going to focus on that whatsoever. And you shouldn't as well. Like, again, I always say that you can do whatever you want, but there is no chance that I'm shorting a longing market, right? Look at this. You might even say and go, oh my God, Anton, go short. Okay, watch what happens. Chop. Oh my God, go short. Look, it's breaking down with bearish MAs. Chop. And now it's long. And instead, I'll wait till an FMB validation to do what? To go long here. That's where I make my money. Because everyone that's thinking along the same lines of, okay, we can maybe get a breakdown and then we go up or whatever it is, those are the people that have created my liquidity. Those are the people that are going to create my next run onwards. That's what liquidity truly functions like. That's why I hate this like online stigma of liquidity and how it's taught, because it doesn't teach you anything. It's like, you guys need to understand how the markets are doing this and then just predict it all. Good luck. Orders are everywhere. Have fun. It's like, oh shit, well, unlucky. Can't really do that, right? So, no. I would not short the 15-second if the 15-minute is clearly moving down. But if the 15-minute context within the context of the market is short, now you have a different story, okay? Easy. That's how we do it. I have to leave early, but wanted to drop this question. What's up, Masero? Let's check it out. Can you say something about the FMB1 that has to be broken before an ICI? For an FMB1 to be valid, what are your rules? How do they have to look? Just curious if you have specific things you look for in the FMB1. Usually, I just want it to be clear, right? So anytime you even see me break stuff down, like I just broke down some trades like randomly on a lower time from here and stuff, or wherever on the left, you'll see that I just want a clear or relatively clear FMB that gets over some kind of clean down candle. So like, for instance, if I'm looking for an FMB here, right, a break of this high would be enough for me, right? The second this gets created right here, this close, it's showing me that whatever sellers were available here are now have been overpowered and displaced above by buyers on this given time frame to create this validated demand somewhere. So I know that since money's in power to the long side, there should be availability of trades at the top side because there's going to be continuation here. Now, there's other factors now that make me not look at that, like the MA sloping down now, so I wouldn't even look there, which is why as I wait and then become upward sloping, now the same thing happens. What down candle was responsible for a lot of orders likely coming in? Probably this one, right? It created this one and then this big down one at the moment. So if price can, again, displace over this one and close, that's showing me demand validation, which I can now follow through with on a lower time frame. Or if I'm trading a 15-minute as my main time frame, what would I look for? Well, the hourly just entered bullishness, and take a look at this. Okay? The down move created was from here, and the FMB validated it. So now I know buyers are in control, which means for me, if the 15-minute can set up an ICI, a clean one, there is no reason I can't take it. But at the moment so again, this is where it gets into even more factors. You're in a longer form range, and you have a lot of chop action here. So for me, what would I want to see? I'd want to see price play around, create a new clean stage one, and then I could take a buy stop here. Because now it would create a moment in time where I'm okay with putting on risk. I wouldn't want to put on risk here and just hope that this move is going to go, right? So again, this is a moment where I'll wait. But that's what I'll look for in an FMB. All other factors present, money just gets above that high and displaces, because that's demand validation, exactly as I taught in the most recent remastered video, right? Hey, Ment, am I wrong to say that 1 to 3 RR would not be the best with such a low time frame, but you should aim for 1 to 4 to 1 to 5, depending on your system? Yes. Again, that was, I mean, it just depends, right? Because if you're protecting, like I teach you with like this move, and you're protecting a big low, your stop is going to be higher in terms of pip size, which means that you're not going to have to take as many lots on it. So it could still be profitable at 1 to 3. But yes, you're correct. The lower the time frame, the more higher RR you want to look for. But again, the video was just to prove to you and to show you firsthand that this happens every day on every time frame, and that you can wait for those moments to take advantage of them, right? And then once you understand that, then you can build a system around the time frame of your choosing, the RRs of your choosing, etc. Feels like a big step to get funded, even though I feel like I've put in the work. And it will, because it's new to you, right? But once you're funded and you've done it, you're gonna sit back and go like, what the fuck? Why was that so easy? Alex says, this got me funded video was amazing. I appreciate it, man. Hey Anton, what's up, Vahur? Happy to see you, man. We have an image here. Let's check out what we got. We have no image here. Just post the screenshot instead of the like weird image like that, okay? Do you open multiple trades right after another if a new setup meets your rules criteria? No, I don't. I usually take a trade, and once it's fully managed, like to break even, and maybe even I took money off, then I'll take another trade on top of that one. Like I'll scale in that way. But usually no. Because like I will have a lot of trades where, let's say it comes, does whatever, right? And then I take a trade, boom, I'm in a trade. And then it sets up another trade, but I won't take this trade. I just don't care. And then maybe even comes down and sets up another trade right here, but I won't take it too. I'll wait until this one's managed. Boom, now it's managed and maybe at break even. And now price will do whatever, but usually it'll start like a run, because usually when I'm correct, it starts some kind of run. And then if it resets, does its thing, then yes, I will take another trade either here or here based on which one looks clear. And again, do the same thing. But I won't really take a trade unless I'm managed to break even on something, and usually have a partial. So like on my partial here or here or here, and then I'll take another trade here or here. Shelling says, watch the course, do the process, it all changes everything. And it will. Guys, just a quick word. I personally cannot believe and cannot keep up with the amount of like messages, private messages, testimonial messages, improvement, people posting their results, people posting their funded, whatever it might be. I can't keep up with it. It's absurd. So, but it all has happened to the same people that have done the exact same thing. And it's in front of you. So just use it, okay? Manolo says, morning, Anton. Question. Regarding the last video you posted, you show us a 15-minute schematic on Wyckoff, which is a stage 1, or in price it shows like a double MB accumulation. Would you mind showing other scenarios where price is ready to go? On the 15-minute or 5-minute, then go to a lower time frame to enter a trade. Yep, so we did a bunch of that today, right? And even now, I'm even showing you this, right? If prices can basically, like, take a look at this. Here's an FMB high. If prices can make a break above there and displace, this is an area, right? And onwards, like around to here, that I would start watching for lower time frame setups. Take an entry and let it do its thing, let it undergo, boom, and you're in, right? That's it. It's just following the same rules. Where did I get NAS 100 from? What am I doing? How did I find this special? Oh, just the good old screener. Now, just so you know, guys, I'm improving the screener. So I'm making it even better and trying to add other markets to it as well. So all of you traders that literally trade anything else will also have cool availability there. And yeah, it's just gonna become more and more improved. So your job of screening is gonna be even easier, which I'm really excited for. But that's just a little bit of what's in the works. Ampleman says, today I reached webinar 66 and the first ICI entry video. I know there's a long way ahead, but I'm excited that I'm getting closer and closer to the system. And what's cool, Ample, is that you already have the preconditioned concepts for this system. It just might sound like something new, right? You're just going to develop further evolutions to the system. So the things you've learned before, MB is the way to think about them. Intermediate, this multi-structure way of viewing things, Wyckoff. These are all going to come into exactly what the ICI becomes. So that's the really cool thing about the fact that you're working through it. So much respect to you. Let's find where we're at here. iPhone says, in trade talk, what did you mean when you said you had no good place to put your stop loss? GU trade. GU. I don't remember which trade. You might have to send me a photo. Because, like, yeah, I haven't taken anything on this except this -1 earlier this week on Monday. Jonathan says, you're also paying attention to price above MA when caught in huge range or waiting for new structure. Yes. Yeah, so Alex created his own mini model. He said, wait for up, then down, a bit sideways, and then an ICI. Sure, exactly. Right, like, yeah. That's your own mini blueprint. Took me forever to understand that just because something is bullish on the higher time frame, that it doesn't mean that you can take every bullish setup on a lower time frame. Exactly. Yeah, very good. Very well said. And that's completely correct. Ment got funded. Woo, I got funded, guys. I never realized how the drawing of an ICI looks like the back half of a schematic. Yep. I bought Anton his Porsche. Life is good. Let's go, bro. I appreciate you. When do you open multiple trades in one pair? Oh, we went over that. It can be even simpler than trailing at the beginning. By looking into your journal, you could also understand if there's a bigger fix or R to take. Exactly, yes. So one of the things you can do is you can start with your 1 to 3, start recording your trades, and all of a sudden you might find that just holding to 1 to 7 provides you an extra EV of like 4 RR a month, right? So done. Just like that, you've added to your bottom line by simply looking at the results of what you've been doing. And that's like one of the best things you can do. Chris says, does it matter that the SMA 20 is sloping down on the 15-minute? It depends, right? So like here, it's technically sloping down, but it's also sloping sideways and up. And if it does what I want it to do, it's going to be sloping upwards like the 50, right? You have to also understand how is it going to slope or how's it going to look given that price does a certain number of things. Lukash asks me, Ment, can you explain how do you look at ATR, what you can read from it, because I have no clue at all. You don't even have to worry about it, to be honest. This green box is a measurement for you. where if you're buy stopping something, that's a good place to put your stop loss because it's the average. It's based on the average movement of price, right? If you're not using, let's say, the criteria that I taught where you buy a stop and you throw your stop under the overall low. So if you're not using a specific rule like that, you can use this green box. It's just an ATR. It's an average measurement. I don't look at it to decide on trades though. Like I'm not like looking at it like, oh, it's too big of a number. That doesn't matter. The number doesn't matter. Matt says, my continuation pattern. Now I know what I am seeing on the chart. I love it. Good. Kind of looks like a way to scale into a position too. Yep. Hey, Anton, do you see any good trades here? The last one is the clearest one, but I consider others too. I don't know. Looking at any just one quick picture usually does not give me, it's very hard for me to analyze one picture and be like, yeah, it's good. It really much matters to me to look at the actual market, right? That's why every time you see me look at a trade, it's not, yep, this is a phenomenal one. It's always, okay, let's see where we are. Let's see what it's doing. Let's see what it's done. Let's see what the context of this is. Given the fact that we just looked at UJ and we know it's very bearish, given the fact that I'm assuming this is coming out of a 15-minute sideways and moving down, you have a clean, clearly leg lower, comes up, distributes kind of cleanly. FMBs, like, yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I mean, if you sell stop this, it's okay. I guess that's fine. So, yeah, it looks okay to me. Sure. You can have a free money zone on any time frame, really. A free money zone on a daily, you can enter on 15-minute. Yep, exactly. Right? So like you could do that for like a daily and an hourly. It's the same thing. So for instance, if you were a hourly or 4-hour based trader, right? What are the moments where you might look for trades? Hey guys, what does this look like? Right? Hey guys, what does this look like? Or this, or this, or this. Those are all those opportunities. These are all going to be 4-hour, 1-hour ICI opportunities. Watch. Right? Look at that. What is this? What does that look like to you? Right? Nothing really here. What does this look like to you? What does this look like to you? What does this or this look like to you? What does this look like to you? I mean, you can't even tell. If I hide the time frame, you can't even tell this is a 4-hour. Some of you would be like, it's a 1 minute. Some of you would be like, it's a 15-second because it's all the same price action. It's just a difference of how long you may have to wait for a given setup, right? And all you would do to test the context is what? So like at this time right here, let's say you're not sure if you want to follow it. Okay, well the daily is doing what? Let's actually go through this together. Let me scroll down. If we're doing the context of this, what's the daily telling us? Before we go lower to a lower time frame, before we go to a 4-hour, use the indicator in front of you guys. Tell me what the daily's telling us right now. Oops, sorry. Right? I'm gonna drink some coffee. Yeah, bullish. Okay. What's the 3-day telling me? Bullish. Okay. What's the... Let's go to a 5-day telling me. Ooh. What's the weekly telling me? What's the 2-week telling me? What is the monthly telling me? So all of a sudden, you start understanding that it's the same thing. Now, instead of using the 1-hour, the 4-hour, and the daily, you'll be using the monthly, the 3-week, and the weekly to decide whether or not it's even worth it to look for trades, right? That's it. And you could do that on multiple markets, right? Does everyone understand that? Does everyone see how this is nothing different? This is literally what Warren Buffett does, guys. When I say that, I'm not like bullshitting you. This is literally what TJI. This is what Warren Buffett does. Let's go to Apple, right? He trades Apple. Or like, what's Warren Buffett invested in, guys? Does anyone know? What is Warren Buffett? Okay, Coca-Cola. You're right. Yeah, Coca-Cola. Okay. Now we know before we even look at Coke, how long on average does Buffett hold a position? Yeah, about 20 to 50 years, right? So very long. So on average, right, if I'm taking a trade on, let's say, a 15-minute, here we are, 15-minute chart, right? I'm in a trade. Where's my trade? It's gone. Oh, wait. Here we go. Let's go find my 15-minute trade. So he holds for about, how long was this trade? About 200 bars. Okay? 200 bars. So if I was, or like a normal trade that I might hold might be like 90 bars, 100 bars, 400 bars. So if I'm holding a trade and it's about 400 bars, what time frame would I have to go to be 50 bars holding? Wait, that's not a way to look at it. Sorry, I'm super dumb. Okay, so if my 15-minute gives me, what am I trying to do? I think my brain is malfunctioning, guys. So if Buffett holds for 20 to 50 years, and my average holding is 400 bars, how big of a time frame would he trade to hold for 400 bars? Okay, so if he holds 20, okay, here we go. I got it. So if he holds for 20 years on average, that's this many days, but he holds for about, let's say, 300 bars. So his time frame of trading is what, a 1 month chart, right? So he trades a 1 month chart. There we go. So basically, Buffett enters his ICIs, but not really, on a 1 month chart. Okay, so given that, we should probably assume that a 3 month should be bullish before we enter. A 6 month should show bullishness. And probably a 1 year should show bullishness. Does everyone agree with this? Okay. So let's go to KO. Let's go back in time let's go to a 3 month chart. Let's just go back in time, right? Let's just have some fun with this. Let's go wherever. Let's go here. Okay. So, first things first. Well, the 3 month is bullish. That's given. Okay, great. We don't have to do more there. 6 month. Okay, it's bullish. Okay, there's just bullish breaks. Yearly. All right, it's bullish. Great. We've done the work. What do we wait for now? Stage 1 into a setup. All right, let's wait for it. Oh my god, we have to click so much just to get through candles. This is so bad. This is so shit. Maybe if I go to a 30-day, it'll go quicker. Let's see. Fuck, it doesn't. Okay. All right, we'll go slowly. We'll go super slowly. It is what it is. So to enter, we basically want to see like a 3 month, right? Enter the green area. So like this is where we'd start watching probably. Now we're too high, so we probably wait on the 3 month now for more clear. Okay, I'm just going to do this because I can't wait for it, okay? So we'd wait for the 3 month to go sideways. And then as, let's say, it broke through an FMB high, we would step down to watch our monthly, right? If we were Buffett. This is nothing different or nothing special. And honestly, it's already in a kind of clear stage 1 into an ICI that happened here. So if we get another ICI here, we could consider an entry. Let's see if we get one. Okay. I mean, it just looks like it's going to go, right? Maybe there's no trade here. Okay, so like you get this ICI. Do you? Maybe not. Let's see. Okay, so you get this ICI. Now, again, I probably would not be entering this, right? Because it's a little bit too far extended for me. So I would just ignore it. But again, this is an example of something that Buffett would take, right? Because he has different rules. And he has other things that he's looking at. But this is something he would take. And again, you could protect the green box. Whoa. Or you could protect the overall low, right? That's really up to you. Is ICI or other micro MBs? Yeah, they're just an MB, right? This is an MB. This is a pause in price as new sellers enter for the buyers to re-step in, right? Which is why I buy stop it. Okay. Right, so this could be your So again, if you built a portfolio for yourself around very long term, if you wanted to retire in 60 years, this is a setup that you could follow. You could follow 1 month ICIs on good stocks, buy them and hold them with simple rules, right? And I don't know what your rules might be, but you could follow the same kind of rules and do nothing more, right? And then trail with the MBs. Trail with the MB. Trail with the MB. And get stopped out. Then you wait again, right? It enters a back and forth environment. Then you take another long here or here. You take your long. You protect. You take a loss. It comes up. You take another long here or here, right? Depending on what your system is, you protect. You take it. You trail, get stopped out. You wait. You maybe take another here or you wait. You take another here or here, etc. Right? Like, this is an example of how if you wanted to invest on the time frames, let's say that Warren Buffett or whatever invests on, that's how you would do it. There's no difference, right? You just wait for good setups. And, you know, some markets, just so you guys know, just to really put this in perspective, if you took any one market, okay, how long do you think you might have to wait for a setup on that market, given this kind of system? On any one market, a random one. Can anyone throw out some guesses? Years, 3 weeks, 5 years? Keep going. Keep going. So the answer is actually, so a lot of you saying 5 to 10 years are completely correct, but the answer ultimately is most markets, which means if you took any one market, would actually have 0 setups forever. Truly understand that, okay? Because for it to set up into an environment that's worthy of being traded, let's say, there's only a select few that are going to be worthy of that, okay? So, and even when they do have setups, the setups could be anywhere. Like, look, if this was a setup back here, look how long it took for the next setup. Which one was right here? It was 6,000 days. 3, 6, that's 20 years, right? Yeah. It took 20 years for Coca-Cola to set up again. Okay? And now, now it needs time. Actually, it's okay. Now it can set up actually pretty soon. So, like, look at this. Look at this high. That's an FMB. In 17 days, guys, this FMB is going to get validated. If it gets validated, well then, in a few more months after that, you'll get a high, and that's your buy stop to continue the Coca-Cola run. Otherwise, it's going to do this for the next how much? 20, 30 years. This is why I don't like the Buffett version of investing, because again, he's going to sit through he might sit with Coke until he dies, right? He might have to sit with Coke until like 2050 before it even makes a new run to new highs, right? So he's okay with doing that because he owns a fucking conglomerate, a huge company with like billions, trillions of dollars under management, whatever it might be. So it's different for him. But like for us, we would never want our money locked up like that. Are we going to do an outlook for next week? Of course. There's your outlook. Coca-Cola. It's going to set up in the next probably about 8 months. All right, Esben, good luck. You got next week in the bag, bro. you got this. Wait 8 months now. Can you imagine if I had a mentorship about like investing, retiring, and I'm like, all right, guys, welcome. In about 8 months, we might see a Coca-Cola setup. I'll see you all in a few next year. See you all in 2025. Goodbye. Sorry. I said some crazy shit, don't mind me. What are your rules for staying out of chop? Well, there's a few. There's a few rules to stay out of chop. Don't trade the opposite side of markets. Don't trade huge breakdowns into instant breakups. Don't trade into downward sloping MAs. Don't trade into really jaggedy sloping MAs. Don't trade into wiki action and wiki price unless, it becomes cleaner. Don't trade markets that are not lining up and not synchronizing with, let's say, the screener in regards to what other timeframes are saying. So that's the example of trying to go short on any of these markets is almost like suicide, right? That would be an example that would keep you out of chop as well. Look for FMB validation or demand validation before trading or stepping down to a lower time frame. That keeps me out of chop and a lot of sideways action. Yeah, those are the main ones. Look for relatively fresh ranges. Oftentimes the best moves are within fresh ranges. Fresh ranges will last about that long, as you can see, right? You can even see it on your own charts. If a range lasts more than that, basically, assume to not touch it, right? So fine, it's fine right now. But like, look what happens when you have a long-term range, if we can find one. There we go, right? Longer term range, a lot more chop. You see this? Even if you tried to trade it, even if you try to trade any of these areas, you might take losses on this back and forth chop. So again, like, easy rule to stay out. Yeah, those are all rules for staying out of chop. I noticed the MAs keep you out of a lot of bad ICIs. Yep, which is why I use them. This looks really good, though. Good job. I posted this also on Trade Talk, but in case you need some notes from the Get Me Funded video, you can find them here. Yeah, so Shizen made some really cool notes. He just went through the entire video and basically wrote it all in note form, which is awesome. Basically, the way I think, the way I get involved, why I look at a screener, how I use it to decide that looking at something is worthwhile, what the MAs can look like. Yep, it's really good. I mean, any of you can create this. You just have to watch the video, right? And that's true for any videos here. Hey man, how do you draw the green boxes on what is that based? Look for an FMB validation first. So like, boom, draw the green box into the next high or beyond it. Basically assume that if price got here, it would be too extended to keep watching. So at that point, if you're not positioned before it, you would wait until it resets or until it goes crazy and then resets, right? And then you can start getting involved again. So that's the way I draw the green box. Like, it's like, look at this, right? At this point, if you're not positioned on a lower time frame, I wouldn't want to try to get position here because it has the likelihood of doing this and then going, right? That's all. Same thing here, right? If you had a green box here, this is where I would stop getting positioned. Why? Because then look what happens. If I had a green box here, this is where I'd stop. Why? Because look what happens. If I had a green box here, I would stop where? Here. In this case, it keeps going, but that's part of the game. If I had a green box here, I'd stop watching here. Why? Because it's likely to go chop, even though it doesn't for a while, right? That's just how I think about that. You want to envision what can the next move do? What is the market telling you about what the next move is very likely to be able to do? And those are the moments you get involved for the hopeful continuation of that given move, right? How long will the screener stay for? What does that mean? Can you add a 30-minute time frame to the screener? I will look into it. Hello, Anton. Before jumping to lower time frame, do you expect a clean FMB or an FMB? Just an FMB is fine. Just one. But sometimes it might be two based on other factors. So I'm looking for one FMB, but I'm waiting for other factors to be there too. In a prior webinar, you called the setup ugly. How come? I thought it was decent. I don't know. Same answer as prior. Right? It very much depends on the overall market, but mainly because this, I guess this FMB never got validated until this candle, which just made it unclear to me, I guess. I don't know. It looks like that. Before MenthFX, nice. So the green box is based on ATR. Yes. When you buy stop a high or low. What do you think about Dawn Polo? I don't know what that is, but if it's a stock, we'll look at some, or like a market, we'll look at markets in a second. Looks good. What do you mean when you say the ranges are too loose or when a setup is too loose? That's like if you're in a range and price is starting to set up, but then it does something, I don't know. It just, can you show me an example of a picture that I said was too loose? That's much easier for me to define. And then I'll look at that for you. Hey, Anton, in ICI-based ideas, you said you prefer setup number 1 over number 2. Could you explain why? Prefer 1 over 2. Yeah, because this one validated FMB, created a nice ICI, or buy stop of an MB right after. So that was good. And then this one is later, and above already rising MA. So this one's just late. And then it had a lot of sideways prior to validating this. If it was a little bit less rangy there, and then just validate it instantly, it would be a good trade. But this one's much better. That's all. But then again, the beautiful thing about being a trader is you can define what good setups are for you, right? So if you find that one to be good and you can find other examples of it being good every single time it happens, well then great, right? That's going to be a good context for you to follow and then make money with. Anton, please have those rules writing down for us. What do you mean, bro? Anton, what new strategy have you got coming up? Were you talking about the last webinar too? What new strategy have you got coming up? Were you talking about the last webinar too? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Could you say the market is most likely to copy paste its previous move before doing anything else? Somewhat. Not always, but theoretically, kind of, yeah. Hands-on, are you able to show how to calculate which lot size to use? I tried looking for the video that you showed this. I have a video on Ment Funding for that. But yeah, I'll put something together like that for you, but I'm not doing it right now because it's going to take a little bit too long, I think. Manolo, that's not the max lots you get it. We don't have a max lots anymore on Ment Funding. It's just based on leverage. Do we use the green box for the validation time frame only, or is it useful with the higher time frame too? It depends on the time frame you're trading. If you're trading a 15-minute time frame, you want to imagine the green box probably on an hour or a 4-hour, right? There it is. I'm envisioning this move now, right? So on this market, if you think about it, when it first validated the FMB right here or right here, I'm envisioning that I want to see this occur now, right? And supply, well, there's been 1-2 supplies coming into the market, so it's getting a little bit choppy, but this is pretty clean. So if this can start coming up and make a setup around here, I'll probably look for a trade on the 15-minute, right? Is Ment Funding going to ban US traders? I don't think so, no. We have no reason to. Not at the moment, at least. Do we use the green... Oh, we went over that. Does Ment Funding allow crypto payouts? We actually only have crypto payouts right now. Sorry, Anton, one final question. In a prior webinar, you highlighted the second trade but overlooked the first. What about the first setup is unclear? I mean, it's okay. It's not terrible. Again, it's very event dependent. It's very dependent on the week that you're trading, on the screener as it looked at that moment, right? What the higher time frame was or wasn't doing. Maybe one of the reasons I overlooked it was because the range had began to play out for too long. The prior setups had already failed. And this one was just too in line with this one. So if you waited and then started creating new ranges, you then got a pretty clean setup here or here that would have been clear. But again, like it's very dependent on the actual day, week, whatever that you're actually trading. Not every one setup is the same, right? Like, yes, they're all ICIs, but it doesn't mean that it's worthy of my entry or my risk. Okay, let's quickly go over the NAS trade right here because I want to break it down for you guys. And then we'll do a quick outlook and we'll wrap up. Okay. So. First and foremost, boom. It goes without saying that NAS, before I even look at anything further, is hitting our screener. Okay. This thing has just shown us that it wants to be bullish, and there's really nothing more to that. It's a very bullish market, which means that I'm happy to take a look at it and see what's going on. Is it even worth trading? What's happening? Why is it hitting so bullish and so green? So at the time of before this trade, so let's actually go ahead and replay mode this guy. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. So at the time, right before this trade, we have already, as we all know, a few time frames just pointing towards very, very bullish, right? Weekly is just moving long and has been moving long. There's really not much to do here. The 3-day is in clear reaccumulation, right? Clean move up into this reaccumulation and has already validated reaccumulation and just been moving higher. It's by no means extended. It's by no means like outside of price. If this was like up here at the time of, I would ignore it. But right now, it's moving normally, and the only thing I can expect is that it wants to keep doing this, right? So I'm going to look to profit off that because right now, everything is moving as it should. As I step to the daily, we underwent a very clear stage one. I even kind of drew in whatever the Wyckoff, whatever you want to call it here, right? If you want to label it, selling climax, ST, STB, spring, and started moving long from there. So if you want to envision kind of a green box of a lower time frame, any point really here, even off the MB break, is all availability for a trade. And right now, none of it is overextended. So that is why, even right now, I'm looking to trade it. But you can see during the week, this is where we were. This is where we were before the start of the week, before this even up candle here. That's the one I entered into. So before it, you can see we were in a very, very bullish bias, and we were just in a clear reaccumulation. Price is most recently broken down once, right? So you have a move up of the MBs making higher highs, or higher protected lows, and one breakdown. That is very, very consistent with very likely reaccumulation. So all I'm looking for is other time frame, right, or lower time frame confirmation that accumulation is happening and that I can start getting involved. That's really all I'm interested in. So as I step down to, let's say, a 4-hour, as we step down to it, you can see at the time before this candle, here you guys go. Before this candle, we were in a reaccumulation as well. Price had a very clear move higher. So again, if we go left to right, it had a longer term accumulation, started moving long beautifully, reaccumulation, started moving long beautifully, reaccumulation, stage one, started moving long beautifully, right? You can see the way it kind of, again, if you look at the MAs, you can see the way they expand, come together, expand, come together. So my understanding of this is that, okay, we are on the downside of MAs right now, which is one thing to worry about, because, I don't like that. But also, I know that I'm trading a 15-minute, which is far enough disconnected from the 4-hour that I can check out a 1-hour for the validity of demand and, let's say, the clarity of the MAs. So in this scenario here, the 4-hour showing reaccumulation as well. So everything looks good to me in that respect. As I head over to the hourly, okay, we have a market that was initially very, very clean and most recently actually entered redistribution, right? It had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 MBs to the downside, which is a lot of MBs to the downside, and most recently only made 1 MB break up. So even though you have a redistribution from a model perspective, you have a ton of MBs moving down with a higher time frame that's showing overall bullishness, an MB that just broke bullish, so potential redistribution. So I still at this point was quite unsure about following it because again, well, clearly we have overall bearishness, but at the same time, you have a 20 MA that just started sloping upwards, a 50 that just started sloping from downwards to very closely sideways. And in my mind, again, if you can have price validate demand, right? If price validated demand, what's going to happen to that 50? If I asked you right now, so again, from just basic observation, even if you don't know how to use MAs or anything about them, what do you think is going to happen to the average of price in the scenario that price moves upwards now to this black line that is already somewhat like downward / sideways? Yeah, Alex got it right. Exactly. The 50 is very likely, if this validates demand, to be sideways, which means that in that scenario, if you get positioned for a long, what's instantly going to happen to price? Well, you can almost envision that it would be sloping upwards. So it's no longer sloping downwards, and that's what I want to see. And the 20s are already sloping upwards. So I waited. That was one of the first things I wanted to do, right? So again, you have still a 1 hour in distribution, but remember the schematic that I draw for you. Time frame of entry, time frame of validation, time frame of context. Time frame of validation can validate demand and not have the right context. That's okay. And the reason for that is because the time frames around it, the 4 hour, the 2 hour, whatever, the 8 hour, might still be showing clear bullishness, which is exactly what we saw with all the green on the screener. And at the same time, the higher time frame and multiple time frames around it, the weekly, the monthly, the daily, are showing us a story as well. And as we just looked at it, what are most of these guys showing us despite the 1 hour redistribution? Yeah, exactly. All bullish. So it's a very important factor that I took into account. And I said, okay, if there's going to be an opportunity for a long, it'll likely come out of, let's say, demand validation. And then all of a sudden, boom. You have the validity of demand through this high, which is a type. Actually, I'm going to ask you guys, when price traded above here and then broke this one, what kind of demand zone is? Actually, I drew them here. Whoops. Okay, yeah, that's a type 4 demand zone. And at the same time, it validated this one, which would be an MB or a type 3. So in reality, this is an MB right here. That's an MB. The reason for that is because this candle was lower. So if you took that high and you waited for it, that's just an MB being validated, which is also, well, as we know, a fractalized MB. So we have validity, right? There we go. So I can assume that if prices do start setting something up, that's going to mean that the 20 that's sloping upwards will continue sloping upwards. Price is still within that area to allow it to slope upwards. The 50 is already almost sideways. So if we get a setup, it'll be a little bit higher, which means this 50 is going to be either sloping up or sideways. So that's all going through my mind. And again, that's happening in like 5 seconds. It's not something that I'm sitting there like, okay, and this is doing that and whoa, 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 right? This is stuff that happens in like 5 seconds in my mind. But as I explain it, I want you to see where my mind is as I'm taking this trade or as I'm looking at this trade. So already, if I'm on a 1 hour chart, take a look, I'm envisioning this green box. Does everyone understand how now that's where I assume a 15 minutes is going to start to make setups for me? Does everyone understand why this is the green box for my lower time frame? Okay, there you go. Right, so that's an example. Now, again, if you had drawn me a green box like this, let's say, and you said, now I'm watching a 15 second, would I say it's good or bad? What do you think? So Aid says it's good. Al says it's bad. Kika says it's bad. So I would personally say it's perfectly fine. So my main question now is, why do Al and Kika think that it's bad? I would like to know, right? Why is your instant assumption that it's bad? Too far away from the 15 second. That's not a terrible argument, but remember, if your answer was even, it depends, that would be a lot better answer than it's bad. Why? Because what if your 15 second entry is to see price first start a bullish move, then reaccumulate, and then you take a trade? If this is what you wanted to see on a 15 second, why would this validation of a 1 hour be bad? Theoretically, you're still going to wait for money to come in on a 15 second now, right? So in that scenario, is it still bad or is it now acceptable and potentially even very good? Right, exactly. It's acceptable. So that's something to really remember, right? Because remember this diagram. Just because you're a 15 second base entry doesn't mean you have to be looking at a 15 minute. Some traders are going to be looking at a 30, some at a 1 hour, some a 2 hour. For instance, okay, I know some traders, even you guys do, Mr. Dan, our good boy Dan, who trade setups after they've defined and started creating clear kind of moves before he even looks to enter. So if he had looked at a 2 hour and then on a 15 second he watched for this, do you think that's a bad setup? Or is that acceptable? Right? Exactly, it's acceptable. So again, it very much depends on what the steps that you're taking before you're looking for an entry are. Now, let's say your 15 second confirmation, guys, was a demand zone validation, a type 1. Is now, using a 2 hour or a 1 hour, good or bad? This should be an easy answer. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's terrible, right? Because If your 15-second entry criteria is only demand validation, and you're using the fact that the 1 hour has made a demand zone or validified FMBs, that's going to suck. Because how many of these setups can happen just inside of here to here? 6,000 or more. An unbelievable amount. So there's no edge there. Now you have randomization. Does everyone understand why just because you're a 15-second doesn't mean that 1 hour is out of the ordinary or terrible, right? Because like let's do this for 1 second. Let's say you step down now. Here's my 15-second. The question now is it within a context already that is worth to follow it? I would say yes. This is beautiful, right? Price has shown you money's coming in, accumulation is present. Reaccumulation, it's present. So now, if price can set something up here, is that a potentially good trade? It's phenomenal, right? So then it enters distribution. You see this down here? So now we can ignore it for now. We can ignore it and wait for accumulation, right? We wait. It's in distribution. It's in accumulation. Done. Now, is it too far up to take? I would say yes. So we can ignore it now. Look what's happening. Just with simple rules, we can still stay out of trade on the 15-second. So let's wait for another clear stage 1. Now, before we even look at anything more, is this in a clear market to be taken long on the 15-second right now? It's very nice. It's super nice, okay? So we wait. What is this? That's an opportunity. Beautiful. And it keeps us out of the trade. So we wait. What is this? It's an opportunity. And it keeps us out of the trade. And the price enters a more consolidatory and not so clear market environment. So what do we wait for now? Either fall off, chop stage 1 into new setups. So notice how much price action we can still avoid by following simple rules. Okay, so I just want you to remember this is why it's okay still to be someone that steps down on those time frames. Now, here's the 1 hour again. Okay. Whoops. Here's the 1 hour. Here's what was happening. Demand got validated. Fantastic. So I jumped down. Great. Demand got validated. Jumped down to my 15-minute to see what's present on the 15-minute before I even follow it. Now, gonna ask you something crazy, guys. If I jump to this time frame and all I had, this is very important, is moving lower, no breaks, moving lower, and now there's a break up, do you think I would be looking for any longs here? Yes or no? Beautiful. I love that I'm seeing no's. And now give me the reason as to why I would be not even considering a long here, given that. Given that that was happening. Yep. It would be in the clearest redistribution ever, which would mean what? It's now lining up with the 1 hour distribution, which means that the likelihood of working out in a range that's at this point getting a little bit long is very unlikely. But the fact that as I go to a 15-minute, number one, it says accumulation, or number two, if we just go through the price, it's already started the process of breaking up, then breaking down, then breaking up again, then breaking down, and most recently the breakup. Let me ask you a question. Has the most recent breakup been a very small one that is making tiny ranges and it's indecisive about where it wants to go? Or has the most recent break shown you that some form of money has stepped in that is showcasing that there's likely bullishness present, or that there's at least some buyers present? Yeah, that's a powerful move higher. So again, a question very quickly is, if this high instead was here and price went like this and then made this move, would I buy stop here, yes or no? Even if it said accumulation, just so you guys know. Let's say it said accumulation and it made that move. Would I buy stop this? Nope, I wouldn't. Why? Because the factors that I'm looking for are no longer present. The MAs would not have started moving higher or apart from each other. They would have remained stagnant or even choppy. Price would still be in terrible tiny ranges, so there's indecisiveness. The fact this has happened is one of those moments why when some of you look at this from a only rule-based perspective and you go, oh my God, why did you trade this? The 1 hour is clearly bearish. Well, the context to every other time frame of what's happening through demand validation, through the screener, through the move that was created on the 15-minute is pointing towards a certain set of principles. So the question here is, do you think I'm willing to take the risk of one loss for the potential of the reward available if this market is, let's say, in a bullish context and now wants to make a run? The answer is yes every single day. I will take a loss like this any day because I know it's going to be one loss, okay? So here we are on the 15-minute. Those demand zones are formed. And as we get here, again, I see accumulation is present. A beautiful accumulation is present. Price has undergone a very clear back and forth stage one. It has already showcased with the initial MA, let's say disruption upwards, that it wants to, or at least it has the averaging ability to move along. And at the moment where price is, at the moment, the 20 MA has already started sloping upwards. And the 50 is just on the miniature of sideways, which means, again, if an ICI sets up, what is the likelihood as it validates and you take a buy stop of what the 50 is doing and the 20 is doing? Yep, either sideways or rising. So that means to me, again, not through what it's doing right now, but through what it would be doing, that money's coming in. So I wait, and we get a high put in. What do? I buy stop the high. Now again, it's a buy stop of an MB. It's a buy stop of an ICI. You could also look at it as an MB1, MB2. You could also look at it as an FMB1, FMB2, FMB3, FMB4. You could also look at it as an FMB1, FMB2. Notice how all those concepts are present. You could also look at it as a selling climax, AR, sorry, AR, ST, STB, STB, spring, and you could look at it as a buy stop of what? A schematic. You could also look at it as test, the buy stop of the fact that you're testing the schematic. These are all the same things. There's nothing special or different. The only thing is you need to discover and determine the exact thing you're looking for yourself so you start getting used to it, okay? That's all that's happening here. I've just put together a number of things that make sense to me. So I buy stop the high. Okay, let's play. And look where I put my stop, just so you guys know. Look where I put my stop. In the green box, under a low that was developed. And we're in. Okay? We're in on the rising 20 and just sideways / tiny bit downsloping 50. But that's fine with me because these are intricacies or factors to the system that I'm okay with given the context of this move. Because again, if this now comes down and loses, what do? I ignore. We go chop, we fall down, we go up. I don't really care because now we've created a little bit of a too long of a range and I can ignore it. Instead, now we're in. So let's see what price wants to do. Guys, what is this? What is this special little thing I see here? What is this special, crazy little thing I see here? Let's say you took this one. Buy stop. Put your stop in the green box, probably under this candle. Buy stopped in. Look what happens. Right? It's just absurd what's available. So now comes the management. Now remember, guys, my management is far from perfect. The amount of money I could have made on this thing is insane. But I'm a human. I make my own decisions with the rules I have. So I'm not doing something emotionally, but I'm making the decisions I can with the rules that I have, given the price that it's doing. And at this moment, it's made a move that is so powerful away from these MAs so heavily that I was like, there's no way this move is going to sustain this. It's probably going to go sideways for a while and then either collapse to here and then go, or just go. So I want to take money off. So all I did is, because at that moment, price was up already, just so you guys know, 4RR. Okay? Price was up 4RR. I was like, bro, there's no way. So I instantly, at the tippity top of it, took off 50%. Done. Plus 2. Plus 2. Done. I've already made more than I would in 2 losses. Or sorry, yeah, in 2 losses. I paid for 2 losses. That's huge for me. Great. I'm happy. And then, fuck. Why didn't I even trail? Why didn't I have a tiny trail that I use like this? Why not? What is wrong with me? All right, whatever. It's going to come down in a sec. It's going to come down. Okay, it's coming down. We're good. Okay, it's going to come down. It's going to come down. It's going to come down. Come on. It's going to come down. Come on. Fuck. Right? So a lot of the day was basically spent looking at this and going, are you kidding me? What is wrong with me? But that's okay, because I still followed the rules that I've established for myself in regards to taking trades. It's just sometimes there are better ways, right? You guys have seen me multiple times manage even a small partial like runner. And I didn't do that here. I just took it off because I was like, this is insane. There's no way it continues. And lo and behold, it does. But as this began to continue, I used my simple rule of momentum loss. All that means is I'm looking at the most recent like fit of price, and I'm saying, okay, where would a failure of price mean that I could get out? And I was like, okay, I'll get out here. And then I kept watching, and I improved the line, and I'm like, okay, maybe like here, right? If you envision the next candle does this, that's like a loss of momentum. So I did it around there. And then I kept doing it, and I was like, all right, we're good. And then it kept going. I was like, okay, maybe, again, draw it in here. Sure. Like right there. Then, okay, keeps playing out, maybe like here. Keeps going, playing out, maybe here. And then, yeah. And then, like, again, you could even improve this a little bit, but this is around where I got out. Boom, I got stopped out for this RR of around 11. Half of that is about 5.5. So I actually got out at around, I think, like 12. Yeah, around 12. So I had my stop up here, it looks like. So I was looking at something like this. So I actually moved this up a little bit more through the lows as it started going sideways. So you can see that in my management. Again, the management is not always the exact same because you're just using the momentum. But you can see I got out of it right. Let's find it. Yeah, so you can see it right here. So I started managing like much more aggressively. Then I managed super aggressively. Oh, okay. So there was insane strength. So I just managed right under the low of the candle and got stopped out right there. Very simple. Okay, so I got taken out there. And the rest, well, you guys all know my rule. I just used 2 MBs, the 2 most recent MBs, to manage. So that means at this time, my trade was still at break even. So I kept it there. And now the game became very simple. Wait for an MB to form. Boom. MB forms. Go to the low before it. Wait for the next MB. Wait. MB forms. Go to the most recent MB. I mean, the one before it. Wait for a new MB. Wait for a new MB. MB forms. Go to the most recent one before it. Wait. New MB forms. Go to the one before it. Wait. MB forms. Go to the one before it. Wait. Get stopped out. And look what price does. Oh, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. And we got stopped out right there for the rest of the trade. And that's it. It might look like a crazy trade, like I did something absurd, but guys, my first partial was where? Here. And at that point, I was happy with the entire move. That's where I was happy with my trade. Just think about that for a second. I had no idea this is what it wanted to do, right? I had no clue. But that's the beauty of following rules. See what people are saying now. So many ways to look at price. Yeah. Super clean ICI, probably on the lower time frame. Yeah, for sure. And like all of this, lower time frame, lower time frame, lower time frame, lower time frame, probably lower time frame. And now you're setting up for another lower time frame move, right? And again, this is where I'm going to be looking to get involved. Right now, it's not so clear, right? It's entering reaccumulation. 50 is still going straight down. This one got jaggedy, came up, is coming, came up, is coming down. So I'm probably going to wait for it to flush out, go sideways, come up nicely, FMB validation, and then get a trade here. This is probably what I'm going to trade this week, if it can do something like this. Otherwise, there's not going to be a clear move here. So you're going to see something like this, like that. You're probably going to see something like this for my trade. Like, you can almost see the future, but that's if it wants to set up, right? John says, if you try every ICI, your account will blow up. Of course. There's an ICI every day. So, of course that would happen, right? ICI, 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 ICI. Yeah, of course. You'd blow up instantly. There's no consistency there. That's just a pattern. This trade made a big contribution to my funding. Yeah. So Shellings got funded, right? This week, I think. And it was off this move. Or a big portion of this move. And that's an amazing thing. That's so cool. Good for you. Does the ATR box switch to bearish on bearish markets? No. You go in here and you put on the bearish. Right here. If you're bearish on a market, there you go. Now you use the red. That would be like USDCHF if you were trading this thing. But right now, you know. Remember the rule I gave you, right? What happens when you're stuck in a range? Price chops and makes terrible moves. Anybody trading this to any side of the market is going to do what? Take losses. This is how it looks. This is how simple it is to just have a rule where if it's too long of a range, ignore. Think about GameStop. If anyone has been trading GameStop, look at this. Look what it's done ever since it's been stuck in this range. Look at that. If you've traded this thing to any direction, you are taking losses nonstop. And again, a simple rule to prevent it. Simple rule. And you can prevent all those losses. Don't trade long ranges. They're not worth your time. Remember UJ? Ignore it. All sideways market comes out. We started watching it with the mentorship right here. If you guys remember. There's no point for you to get position in this. You do not need to do it. Don't complicate your journey. Have simple rules to keep you on the right side of price. Okay? Can you explain more about the momentum loss and the boxes you draw to see that? The boxes I'm drawing are the expectation of a candle. What does a candle have to do? What does the next candle have to do for it to look like it's lost momentum? That's all I'm doing. This is just the best line of fit towards the given momentum right now. That's it. Like, boom. What can it look like to lose? Around there. That's where I'll move my partial. That's it. It's nothing complex. It's a simple rule. But again, the reason that I don't, well, I mean, I teach you it, but the reason I tell you don't use this initially is because, again, there's a lot to it. You need to get to the point where you're confident enough to do something like that. Like, it's based on an arbitrary idea of where momentum would be lost. Some of you might even say, like, this would be a loss, right? And that's fine. And then you maybe stay in more of the trade. I entered on the 3-minute. The trade went up more than 40 RR. Yep, exactly. iPhone says, do you still do 1 day, 1 hour, 15? I do all. The general system, again, is this. My actual system looks like this. That's it. I've said this and shown this time and time again. These are framework timeframes to focus on. These are all the ones I'll actually look at to conduct my analysis, which is why, even on a trade like this, where the 1 hour was what? Bearish, I'm still taking longs because the 4 hour lines up, the 8 hours line up, and they all look relatively clear in regards to the overall model for what I look for. I do not just look for one thing. I don't think in pattern-based logic. I think in terms of orders. How are orders entering this market? What is the market telling me? What has the screener told me before I looked at the market? How are the ranges being created? What were the ranges doing? How have the MAs moved? How have the FMBs been validated? What do they look like right now, the MAs? How are they going to look after a setup? Is it setting up a clean MB that I can buy a stop? Is it setting up an area that makes sense to protect and just throw the stop under or not? Those are all questions that go through my head within like 5 seconds usually of me looking at a trade. I remember when that ugly UJ move happened, you stayed out for a while. Yep, exactly. iPhone says, how many... So first of all, don't direct message me. Send it to everyone in the message, okay? But he says, how many years of price action should you backtest? Would you suggest to be on the safe side, or would you say, I got access to 4 years? You can test as much as you want. It's generally the same moves over and over. Just don't get caught up thinking that a market is better than another because of the context of that given moment that you're testing. That's one thing I've seen people do. They're like, damn, Anton, US 100 is so much better than like, I don't know, Tesla, right? Or it's better than UJ because right now it's really clean. But the problem is it's not always clean, right? If you're looking for longs, then in this moment here, good luck, right? If you're looking for longs in these moments here, good luck, right? If you're looking for longs in these moments here, good luck, right? You're going to get into the same issues that you always see on any pair. And some, yes, will move more often than others, right? Like if you look at more, what are they called? Like exotic pairs, those are generally more shit because there's less money behind them, which means less trends occur on them. But even then, it's very easy to establish that context. If you don't mind, how much did that NAS move add to your account? Look at the numbers. Just under 9RR, because I was 0.75%, so about 7%, 8% on my account. And look what the trade was. Yeah. Pattern gives you entry. Context tells you when it's time to look for the pattern. Yep. Exactly. Hi, Anton. Are you still using SND to trade? Not the way that you're probably asking. I don't look for like, let me trade from this zone. I use SNDs as an actual order-based concept. Like I teach you in the remastered course. So make sure you watch it. It might be in better context in the current moment, but all markets move the same. Yep. Shizen says, for lost momentum, I personally consider lost momentum on the second high candle low. Exactly, right? So you might remember that one of the things I used to do is I would just manage my stop to the low of a big candle. And every time there was a big candle, I would manage like that. And then there would be small candles, small whatever. And then, you know, small candles. And then all of a sudden, big candle. Move my stop here. And then small and then big candle. Move my stop here. And then it goes crazy. Small stop here. And then it stops me out right there. Right? That's how I used to manage. I just over time have developed a better managing system because, again, I noticed that a lot of the time when I was managing like that and prices did this because they did that a lot, I would lose out on this money because then price would break down like this. So I asked myself, what are some rules that I can use to take myself out here? And I noticed that almost every time this happens, the MAs look like this. And price is way above them. Great. That's a point to partial. Done. Added that to my rule set. And now I have a great way to manage into crazy strength. That's it. That is it. So, for the upcoming week, what am I looking for? Well, a lot of you should already understand what I'm looking for because we've already spoken about it in front of you, but NAS remains beautiful. I will be watching for longs on NAS. Guaranteed. It's green on my list. It's good to go. You need some time right now, but it's setting up, and I'll be looking for a long on this for sure. CHF JPY is on there, but ever since this moment here, I stopped watching it. And since then, it's in clear distribution, and right now it's in chop or down moving. I have nothing to touch here. So it's like on the bottom of my list. It's not important. GBP USD, I was watching it for a little bit. Took a loss here. Missed this trade. Started going quite choppy here. It's in reaccumulation right now, but it's quite ugly. I would say that if you're a lower time frame trader, there should be opportunity available after some time, probably here. Give it some time, let it undergo, let it make an FMB, and then lower time frame traders should have nice opportunities here if this happens. Otherwise, I don't see anything on it, so I'm taking it off my list for now. I might look at it later if I see someone say something in the trade talk, but at the moment, I don't see it. It's gone. Goodbye. Gold is also... Oh, it's not on this list anymore, but let's take a look at it. Gold was on my list, and at the moment, it's starting to enter a more 50-50 at the moment, but that doesn't mean it can't have bullishness because there's still overall supporting bullishness. So we'll take a look at it, but I remember I stopped watching it. So I was watching for a trade around here, failed down, came up, failed down, came up, failed down, and I assumed that it was just going to keep going down, but now it's put in a very clean leg up into clear accumulation. Now it's in reaccumulation. So at the moment, right, I would say it's only in a moment where lower time frame, yeah, exactly, Alex, lower time frame might set up. So you're talking about some side, like even now, I would probably ignore it. I would give it some time to come down, then make an FMB, right? So hopefully this 20 starts coming up, 50 kind of goes sideways and starts coming up, and then around here, you may see some gold trades. At the moment on the 15-minute, I don't see anything. The 15-minute would need to probably, for me, undergo some sideways, right? Come up, and then maybe there will be a trade around here. So I'm going to keep gold on my watch list, but at the moment, I don't really see anything on it. CHF, JPY, nothing on it for now. So main watcher for me really just remains to be US 100. It's just very clear, looks good, so I'm just going to keep waiting for it to set up, right? That's really it. Can you take a look at Link USD? Link USD. Link USD. Sure. So, Link USD. Oh. Long range, you stay out. Accumulation, absolutely beautiful. Starts accumulation run, absolutely beautiful. Breaking down right now, but it's in reaccumulation, so that looks really good. You have FMB validation. Yeah, you could see this heading higher. Let's take a look at what the lower time frames are doing. The daily needs time. If you're trading like a 4 hour, 1 hour, it needs a little bit of time. 4 hours entering accumulation actually looks really good. Demand's validated to the top side. You look pretty good there too. Yeah. This has put in a leg reaccumulation. Yeah. If you're a 1 hour trader right now, I don't think it's setting up, but if it did something like this for me, you know, I would very, very likely trade it around here. Other than that, though, I don't see it. Lower time frame trades still look good, though. So if you're trading like a lower time frame, like 15-minute, 5-minute, this is actually entered distribution, so I would ignore it right now. But if this can re-enter accumulation, yes. Right? So like right now, there's not much to it. But if it can come down, you know, come down, boom, come up. Something like this, that would be a good trade. Dorian says, what about UJ? Well, we saw earlier today that UJ is very bearish from the screener. So the question is, do we have opportunity? Well, we spoke about it today already, right? The daily's in its reaccumulation, but look where it is. It's in like the most bearish context it can have right now. It's all the way down here. It's barely validated anything. 4 hour is in like, it's in redistribution. 1 hour is in distribution. 15-minute is in distribution. So yeah, I mean, this looks like a lower time frame candidate. You might be able to get a really nice short on UJ here. Right? Looks good. You're probably going to get something like this week. Very clear. And what's cool is I had someone ask me, I remember this week, someone asked me, hey, it's in reaccumulation. We should take this long, right? And I said, no. Actually ask yourself what this market is telling you, right? Look where it is. Compare, I even told the person, I said, compare this moment to this moment or this moment. Can any of you give me factors now why these two moments are extremely different from each other? More breaks down. Yep. MA is another one. Exactly. Look at how the MAs have interacted. Look what the MAs did here. Look what they did here. And look what they're doing here. This is showing you where the average of movement is going now. What I then did for that client is I said, look at the last time a move like this occurred. It was here. Look what happened. Does anyone see what occurred? Prices went straight down until accumulation took place. So what can you expect? Bearishness until accumulation takes place. Right? Now, if you don't want to say these are exactly the same because this broke up, compare these two moments now. Those are practically the same. Let me show you. Well, actually, there's no break up here, so actually it's a bad example. Give me a sec. Yeah, so I guess here there wasn't any break as well. But the point is, this break does not matter too much to me. The 50 is still sloping right down. 20's coming up. But most importantly, what is a fourth grader telling you right now? What is the fourth grader that's looking at the colors here telling you about this market? Right? Yeah. It's a sell. So, like, the problem is if you look at this and say, wow, we're in reaccumulation. Holy shit. It's like, but who cares? The fourth grader told us where it's going. It's very likely to do what? This. And if anything, this is a phenomenal candidate right now for bearish. Right? It's perfect for bearish. This just entered redistribution. Look at this. It's perfect. It's valid to the supply side right now. Look at the 15-minute. Based on the time frames you trade. Beautiful moves lower. And now undergoing distribution. If we can break down, this thing is going to fall off. This is where you want to check your 15-second and get funded in 2 days. Right? UJ by the end of this week is probably going to be like down here. Now, again, remember, guys, this is not a guarantee of any sort, but this is how markets move. Almost everyone right now is looking long on this thing. Probably. Actually, I don't know. What are people doing? Can anyone send me the little thing? I don't really care, but it's always fun. What's the sentiment telling us? The MentFX one. Yeah, the sentiment's not always correct. This is why the screener is just 10,000 times better, so use the screener. The sentiment's not always right. But, like, what's the sentiment on my FX book? Oh, shit. Most people are short. Well, fuck sentiment. Sentiment's useless. The screener is the only way, guys. fuck the sentiment. Get rid of that shit. Nonetheless, okay, this looks like a bearish market to me right now. If you don't want to look at it because the daily's in reaccumulation, you can ignore it. If anything, the better thing to do right now, just so you guys know, is look, do this. Draw out this low. And wait for what? Can anyone tell me what we want to wait for? If we were to even consider bearish? Probably supply validation. Wait for supply validation. Head lower. And at that point, the 4-hour will be in, hopefully, a more potentially down moving market, redefining the distribution here. The hourly will already be in a clear bearish market. The 15-minute will enter a very, very worthy stage 1 for a continuation down. This is where your 15-minute entry is going to be. But this week, I think if you're like a lower time frame trader, you should see some nice setups in here if we can validate FMB. Remember, don't just start looking for shorts. Ask yourself, where did the buys come from? Probably from like here or here. Wait for price to break the FMB and make it. Then look for your entries. If price invalidates it, great. Go away and let this go sideways. If it doesn't, this is what we call free money, right? Accidentally held this trade over the weekend. Forgot to get out at market close on Friday. First time this happened to me. Do you think I still have a chance of staying in this? 5-minute chart? I mean, it could, yeah. What's CHF JPY saying right now? Yikes. I mean, I guess it's in a short bias, but like, look at this. You want to know why it's so choppy on the way down? Look how choppy it is on the way down. You want to know why? Because of this. This is what happens when you try to go counter the underlying models, right? You should be very careful with this. I don't think anything. I mean, you have a chance of anything happening, of course. But I hate this. All I see when I look at this is this. And you just hope that this happens before this happens. That's it. That's all I see here, right? This is like hope. I see no like reason for it to do any one thing, right? Thoughts on EU? EU looks like it's relatively bullish, has a little bit of bearishness. Let's take a look at it. What do we say? Relatively bullish, some bearishness. Okay. Take a look at the daily first. Yep, so the overall bullishness is holding, right? So we had this run down into accumulation. Accumulation is now starting. It's moving pretty well in accumulation right now. Look at a 1 hour. The 1 hour's been, there we go. Range bound for a very long time. Likelihood? This. Wait for price to get out of this. Let it become accumulation. Step down. Yep, look at this. Look at the range you're in. The market's telling you it doesn't want to do anything. The market's telling you orders are trapped and no big money's doing anything. The market's telling you that everyone is getting liquidated. Let's keep letting the Instagrammers of the world and the dumb hedge funds and the dumb bankers get liquidated. Let's let this come into bullishness. Let's let it create bullish and then look to get involved. I would not touch this at all on any time frame. This is fugly. This is terrible, okay? Terrible. Nothing on EU, guys. Going up here. Let's see what we got. Holy shit, guys. We're 2 hours and 30 minutes in, and there's still 140 of you. You guys are crazy for being here. Ton of respect, though. These are always fun when you guys are here. Thoughts on gold? So we looked at gold. UJ we looked at. This guy asked about NU Holdings. What's that? NYSE. Well, so it depends what time frame you're trading. I mean, like, 50-minute just looks illiquid. Daily, you had a great accumulation into reaccumulation, started that long move. Yeah, I mean, like, if you were watching this down in this FMB validation, this is perfect, right? This is where you look at it for lower time frame entries. Now you still might get another. I don't know what time frame you're entering, but like 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, it started a nice move. If this can go sideways, create an accumulation, then yeah, you can get a move out of this. Yeah, looks good. Nothing wrong with it. 15-minute, kind of ugly, as I expected. So yeah, if you're trading this thing, longs look good right now. Has a reason to keep going. No reason not to keep going. Yeah, looks good. No reason this can't go to like, I don't know, $10. Yeah, looks fine. SP 500. Yeah, it looks the exact same, right? Yeah, they look the same. It's like whatever. What about GJ? Well, what is the screener telling us? 50-50. Very likely in a bad market. Don't even have to like do any more work. Right? Bullish, but terrible movement. Very choppy, all in one area. Continuing to go sideways. Very likely to continue going sideways. I don't know, hourly. Yep. Stayed in this range. Ignored it all along. Broke up and re-breaking short in distribution. Okay, so nothing lining up there, but overall showing that money was coming in bullish. So that's like 50-50 again. Go to a lower time frame. In distribution, when it was in accumulation, 50-50 again. That's as easy as it is to walk away from a market. And this tool did it all for you, right? Looks a lot like distribution. Looks good, looks good. 15-second, yep. Thoughts on EU? We went over EU. Oh, we already went over these, I see. Disgusting. Damn, Maxwell, you gotta calm down, bro. NU holdings. Bruh, you're all good. WB oil. So oil. I'm just gonna look at US oil because that's just easier. What's oil telling us? Looks like potentially 50-50. Maybe some bullishness. Let's take a look. Right? Had the bullishness enter. Distribution enters the market. It's in distribution or redistribution now. Looks pretty good for potential continuation. Take a look at the 4-hour or 1 hour. Yep, this is still where it was last week. It's been range bound here for a very long time. This is not my kind of market. I would ignore this. The 50-50 is being proven by this terribleness. What's the likelihood of the move? Sideways. This is not my market to trade. If you're a lower time frame based trader, have you even done anything worthwhile? Terrible stage one, no clear move. Terrible, still terrible. Why are we trading this? Why are we looking at it, right? Nothing there. Sahad says, can we please analyze oil on the 1 hour? There you go, man. It's terrible. What is there to do here? Right? You're getting tunnel visioned on this. This is what you're doing. You're zooming in and you're saying, huh, we had a leg higher. So now I can expect another one. It's like, look at the context of the market. Is the market telling you that orders within this are moving to a direction or liquidating someone to any direction? Or is it telling you that it's as stuck as it can be? Is it in line with this telling you it's 50-50? Is there any form of bullishness that's even being proven on any sort of potential move? I don't see it. I see chop. I see MAs going with no direction as to what they want to do. I see them chopping. These are orders that are inconsistent with what's happening. This means big selling is coming in, big buying is coming back in, big selling is coming in, big buying, and it's going back and forth. And you're saying, but maybe here it wants to be ready. It's like, don't do it. Let the orders show us what they want to do, right? You're the equivalent of looking for trades here. What you're doing is you're asking me if it's a good market because it just made this move here, right? Oh my God, it's bullish. Fuck. Oh my God, it's bullish. Fuck. Oh my God, it's bullish. Fuck. Comes out, starts setting up, look bullish. There's your move. That's where you make money. This is where you lose money and lose more and more money the more you try to force a direction. That's what's happening here. Take this. Literally, watch this. Okay? Would you want to trade this market? Look what it's doing. It's the same thing. Do you see this? It's the same thing. Why would you want to trade that market, right? Don't trade it. Not good. Unless you have a great system, then run that shit, right? EJ probably the same as every other pair like that right now. A lot of 50-50. Generally looks like some bearish is prevailing here. Let's take a look at Euro JPY. Overall, oh wait, are we just stuck in a range? No, we're not. Okay. What's the 1 hour? Yeah, so it's the same as GJ. Was stuck in the range for a long time, came out of it, was an accumulation, right? Started potential accumulation, back in distribution. Boom. Chop or down? Would I trade it? No. But if you were to trade it, I would wait for it to start moving lower. Stage one it. Start following lower time frames. That's fine. But you might as well do that on UJ because UJ is actually consistent with what it wants to do. Right? Literally, I would advise you guys to go ahead and start doing this. Do this. Take a photo. right? Take a photo and just paste it or even write them in at the time that you're looking at price. Just go ahead and mark a spot, like boom, this is when I took the photo, and put it on the very right of that. Done. Now you know at this point, it was showing you a certain thing, and then watch what plays out. And you're going to get very used to understanding, oh, okay, this is how markets move, right? Do the same thing with, well, it's like 50-50. Take a little photo of it. You know it's 50-50. Ask yourself, given that it's 50-50 here, what's going to happen over the next month or the next week on this? Draw your guy in. And you know, for the most part, it's going to keep going sideways. Just like we saw what happened, and I showed you guys a second ago, over there on the left, right? Given this, you can almost guaranteed expect from that moment this move to continue going sideways like that, right? The markets are nothing new. It's the same thing, but the problem is we get so attached to any given one move or any given price or any given market because we heard a short or we heard a podcast or we heard someone say something about something or we were just looking at it for a while that we get attached to a move that happens and we're like, damn, this thing's really looking ready. It's like, dude, ask yourself where you are on this. Anton, you basically use models, MAs, ICIs, and SNDs. All of which are the same. Models are made up of what? MBs, which are SNDs, right? MAs are just a general average of price, and they showcase how well money is moving behind that given price. ICIs are what? MB buy stops. So basically, I use MAs and MBs, and then I have stacked upon confluences of those things to decide whether or not something is worth taking. That's it. Thoughts on Bitcoin? Well, cryptos have been very, very clean. That hasn't changed. The screener has said so, right? Look, it even shows in the filters. It's still here, as well as Ethereum. So yeah, they're very likely in good context to trade. Daily, yeah, it's getting a little choppy, but it's still relatively bullish. The best trades were the ones that came out of this right here. So it needs time right now. You can see it needs time probably, and then it can start another run, probably up to like 60K or something. So Bitcoin at 60K in the next probably like, what? In the next 200 days? So probably like 7 months from now, 6 months from now, it'll be up here at like 60K, right? Very simple. But we need to wait for those opportunities. 1 hour, take a look. It entered a choppy price. All right, it's stuck in an area. It's stuck in an area. It started a bullish run, and if you were watching for bullishness here, you're good. It failed, and now it's stuck again. And it's going to remain stuck, and it's probably going to even build like a GJ range. It's probably going to go sideways here for a while, or even come down heavily and stay in a range until it resets up, accumulation, and then there will be opportunities again here. So right now, I would ignore crypto. Because again, right, like draw in your thing, take your photo, so you know when you took that photo, and wait. Right? It's a very easy way to do your analysis, but it's going to make you very consistent in terms of what to start looking for. It'll become very easy for you. So, like again, there's just nothing to touch here. Look at this, right? You've entered, even on the 15-minute, a distribution model within a larger range. It's easy to ignore this now. This is going to chop. Nothing is showing you that it wants to go bullish. This is where people lose money. And it makes sense, too, because if any of you have been following like the news, oh, it's an ETF, blah, blah, blah. People are going to lose money, get disinterested, accumulation is going to start, and we'll be at 60K in 7 months from now. And most people would have lost and lost out on this move because they would have been out of this price around here, right? That's what's going to happen. It's so likely. Like, it's absolutely insane. 6 months from now, 6 to 7 months, you're going to be up here. It's just the way that you're going to get there is going to be in a way that's going to disinterest a lot of people in this market. But that's when it's going to be clean. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful thing. TIA USDT. Binance. So again, we know cryptos are bullish, so it's very likely going to be bullish and clean. Yeah, so just came out. This coin was very clean. It's still very clean. Yeah, this can continue going long. There's no reason it can't. Right? You look at an hourly, like this is a lot better than crypto. I mean, than Bitcoin right now. Very good, right? Stage 1 into accumulation. Accumulation continues. So right now you're in a very good state for accumulation on this thing. Right? You said you're a 1 minute based trader, so you're in reaccumulation on the 15 minute, which is great. Hopefully this instantly finds itself because these are starting to go straight down. So if it doesn't find itself now, it's going to start going sideways for a while. So it needs to start going up. But like right now, you're saying you want to be on the 1 minute. Why? This is a terrible time to be on the 1 minute, right? Because already the price is showing you it's not worth it, which means the 30 minutes also not worth it, right? There you go. There's no reason to be on the 1 minute yet. Like 1 hour, 30 minute, none of those. So at least wait for even an FMB or demand validation, right? Then step down. Like what's the 1 minute doing? Yeah, this thing is bearish. Look at what it's telling you. It's in redistribution. So there's nothing yet, but yeah, this thing out of all the cryptos I just looked at, this looks like the best prospect for starting a long move. Let it go sideways. It's probably going to do this. Let it come up. That's where you start watching for your 1 minute or lower, right? It could even happen faster. Yeah. Which makes sense because we just looked at crypto, at Bitcoin, and we just said it's likely going to go sideways or even down for a while. And what's cool is if this starts going down, but this thing remains somewhat bullish, you know this is very powerful. And then when this happens, your trades are just going to magnify because at this point, when Bitcoin starts running and starts making a move, this thing is going to make an insane move. So yeah, like TIA, again, in like, what? In the next few, how long would this be? In the next like week or two, 3 weeks, it's probably going to reach around like 20 or higher, right? But again, it's nothing new. It's the same exact thing. It's just markets over and over again. This is all they do. Yo, Anton, say the minimum or lowest you go is like 1 hour. Would the 15-minute models or lower even matter? No. You could get rid of the 15 then. But you could use them if you want to. It's nothing wrong with it. Either way works. Someone asked about GU. We already looked at GU. So take a rewatch after this. Lower time frame is good. Higher time frame is probably nothing yet. Sprott physical uranium. Sprott. Yeah. You missed the move. But it wasn't even clear. Like, the only entry was here. Right? That's it. Clear entry, this is your move. Right? Out of a back and forth into clean accumulation. Look, this did exactly what? If you guys can tell me exactly what this looks like, you all get a cookie. Does anyone remember? What does this exact setup look like? Nope, not oil. Because remember, oil is not tradable right now. Zylac is the first one that got it right, and then Kyle. Yep. My NAS 100 trade. Exactly almost the same. Not the prior action, but this moment here. Breaks into accumulation. These start showing you where money's going. Sets up a trade. Take a look. Breaks. Sets up the trade. This is why you take photos and get used to prices because they repeat the same thing, but they do them a little bit differently. Let's go here. Now to the hourly. I hope you're all seeing this right now. Right? It is the same move. Does everyone see that? From the moment the money showed you it's coming in, it did the exact same thing. And the only reason I can spot this so quickly is because I've done the fucking work. I've taken endless amounts of images. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I wait for the setup. I take the setup. Boom. You have the exact same thing. Okay? That's it. Big move. MAs go crazy. Big move. MAs go crazy. Price comes down a little bit. Has a little move. All good. Start sloping down. Start sloping upwards before the setup. Buy stop. Takes off. Manage. And this one is still going. So now this one gets to simply be managed. Probably take a partial here or here right now, as is. Let the rest run under this low and wait. Fucking cheat code, he says. Exact same thing. Would you say gold is ready if this happens? I mean, I spoke about gold a little bit, but yeah, something along these lines. Yeah, I think it'll be good, right? It's a little weird, but it can set up. I think the lower time frame on it is cleaner. You can see it's yellow right now, right? But yeah, it can definitely set up soon. Javen says GameStop. Okay, well, Javen, I just looked at GameStop a second ago. What's the problem with GameStop? Can you remind me? There's a big problem with it right now that should make you instantly jump off it. What is the problem with it? Yep. It's telling you what it wants to do. It's telling you no money's behind it. It tells you it has no idea where it wants to go. Right? The before process, it's like your NAS trade. No, it's not. Just because it's made a move and started going up, this means nothing. Because look at the range. You're in. Yep, there are infinite numbers of people losing money on this, right? The people that bought into this at the high are still trapped and bag holding, and they're going to bag hold for probably another, until probably around like 2040, until it's at new time highs. So about 20 years now, yeah. So most people that bought into this thing and are now trapped on it are going to be behind this thing and have their money locked up for at least 20 to 40 years, probably. Because this thing is moving exactly what you would expect for it to move like if it was not coming to the next highs anytime soon. And that's what it's doing right now. This is how people lose money. This is a perfect representation. Okay? This is beautiful. What's your opinion about JUR 40? It's probably very similar to NAS, right? I'm guessing. So it had a little bit of awful movement here. So you can see because of that, it's become redistribution, even though it's moving higher. But because it's moved higher so heavily, you could assume that bullishness is coming in. So that's fine. Take a look at the 3-day and you have accumulation. So, accumulation. So daily, we can ignore the redistribution here due to the movement. Okay. And as we look at, like, say, a 1 hour, you've entered, so there you go. You've entered a much more choppy redistribution, right? Easy to see. Back here, you could have started watching, but then it got choppy. So right now I would ignore it until, let it come out, let it become an accumulation. But if you're very low time frame based, very low, right? You have let's see what we got here. You have accumulation that just started a reaccumulation, but again, how did it do it? Super ugly. This reminds me of GJ, but just a quicker range. Broke long. So yeah, you're looking, it looks like it wants to go sideways. I don't like this thing at all right now. You'd have to give it time. I'd wait till the 1 hour becomes accumulation to even check it out. And I would not be a seller of this thing. Can you check Uranium Corp? Didn't I just check that? It probably, it's the same thing as FU, TFU, whatever the fuck it's called, holdings, right? Just uglier, less strong. There's that same setup, but it's ugly. You see this? Terrible. Big range, nothing to do. The other guy that asked about the holdings company, what was it? TNU Holdings? This one? No. What was the Sprott? Something Sprott? Yeah, there you go. This is strength. The other one is weakness. This one created a very clean bullish MB and set up. The other one stayed in a range. That's telling you which one wants to make the better move. And look at the move this thing made, and then look at the move this one made. Where could you have bought this thing? There's no way you're buying here because you have no idea where this is going. Look how it goes, like, look what it does here. It starts getting choppy. It starts getting ugly. The 20 starts, like, chopping around. Nothing is showing you that it wants to go bullish here because prior it was in distribution. Watch. This was in, there you go. Right? Look. Okay, it's in reaccumulation, but it looks like distribution. I would ignore this. So the other one is way better. This is where you would trade Sprott instead. IBM? Anyone trade it? I don't know. Nike, coffee. Let's look at coffee. That sounds fun. Was it KC? Coffee. Okay, so Yeah, you have a little bit of range, but you have accumulation coming in, which is good. So accumulation on the daily, 4 hours in reaccumulation, but kind of on the downward side of price right now, downward sloping. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly is in reaccumulation and actually has reason to go long. This is where you would watch a daily now for setups, right? This is great. So daily should start having setup. Yeah, so you can see now. Daily, give it a little bit of time. It should start setting up like this, right? That should be really clean. And then 4 hour, 1 hour. So 4 hours in reaccumulation, a little bit ugly, but that's okay. Hourly enter distribution. So I would simply wait for hourly to undergo blueprint, walk into accumulation, and bink, you can start trading this thing long. Right now, sidelines. Don't try to trade this thing short. Wait for it to return to longs. So, maybe it'll break down, break up, break up, break down, break up, and you will be in a bullish market, and you can start following through with this, right? Very easy. So again, sadly, at the moment, we don't have coffee on this, but we will have coffee soon. We'll have everything soon. So you'll be able to see coffee here or whatever, like a stock of coffee, which is going to be great because that's going to make my life amazing too because I get to trade anything and everything. Nike. Yeah. Reaccumulation, but extremely, extremely ugly. Huge gaps, right? So, I mean, you look at these as huge candles, basically. Distribution, yeah, I would ignore Nike. If anything, it's starting to be bearish, but it's in accumulation here. So wait for this to enter distribution and then sell that shit. Yeah, it's ugly. Wait for Nike to enter distribution and start selling it. Not financial advice. Anton, how's your VW? It's always great, bro. Do you consider to add more altcoins to the screener? Yeah, we'll look to add altcoins too over time. We'll add everything. Anton, would it be possible to also add the maybe top 25, 50 cryptos to the screener? Yeah, I'll look into that for you guys, for sure. For sure. We're going to make it one of the best tools ever. But it's going to definitely be some work because there's a lot of working parts to make that work, okay? All right, guys, listen, we're 3 hours in. That's absolutely crazy. I don't know how the fuck that happened. And there's still over 100 people. You guys are fucking crazy. Now, thank you all for participating. Thank you for being here. I hope you learned a few things today. I hope you took some psychological wisdom with you. And hopefully, you go fucking hard next week. Now, that said, please, 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 after this is done, or later today, tomorrow, to get your start of week right, because it's going to be a holiday tomorrow, check out the most recent hashtag system video. Super powerful. Big reminder of why you're doing what you're doing and what's possible once you get it down. All right, you beautiful, beautiful people. Thank you all. Have an amazing Sunday. Have a beautiful Monday. And have the best fucking time of your lives, all right? All right. Thank you, guys.